What's up, y'all? Kofi Kingston here, and I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks, depending on what that drink is, preferably non-alcoholic, you know?
How's it going? Healthy Warrior Damon.
Soda.
I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Maple syrup.
Fella.
I would never have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Finally, the IIRonics have come back to podcasting today.
Tuesdays. It's
Tuesdays.
one time.
Actually, just Tuesdays. Tuesdays. One time Tuesdays. One time Tuesday. One time Tuesday. What's happening to his face? He looks like Super Mario.
Yeah, is that what he's going for?
Yeah. There's no way he's not.
What's wrong with my face?
You're going with Mario, right?
Almost.
Yeah. He's just trying to get his kids to love him more.
Yeah.
Oh. That's always worked in the past. Matter of fact, if I want his kids to be nicer to me, I will wear Super Mario Brothers socks to the house. That works every time. Guys, I'm at Rev Marsh. We are at WOTR, the show. With me today, the other half of the IIRonics, at Kevlar on the Rocks. Kev, it's good to see you.
With an X. Good seeing you too. Long time.
Long time, first time?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I got that mosquito, dude. That's a good way to start the show. It's gonna. Oh, no, there he goes. I didn't get him. He's still there.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm fucked.
Boo.
Yeah. Boo. Boo. Kev,
What's up?
I thought it'd be cool if we went a little early some there, I got things going on that I need to attend to, but I also thought that in the wake of or in the setup for Crown Jewel, I figured if we went live like 9 hours before Crown Jewel starts, I'm going to feel like we should have gone on later, and that's just not going to be an option. So it's like if we distance ourselves just a smidge from Crown Jewel, then we can have a lot more excitement talking about building up into Crown Jewel, and then when we get back to it, we can talk about what the fallout is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So I've been pretty excited. I don't have like jack shit for news, but I do want to know what's in your glass, man.
I'm drinking the cacti spiked seltzer. Made
Which
with
one is
agave. Cacti?
I've seen those. I've wanted to try them. I have not.
Pretty good.
Yeah, and most seltzers are keto friendly, and as we have covered ground before, I am taken to the keto thing. If you follow us on social medias, you may have seen a picture of me recently, maybe even in a suit, and I've lost a ton of weight. But I'm having similar Loverboy sparkling hard tea. It's an orange chai tea kissed with spice. It's a seltzer, but it's a tea seltzer.
Nice.
Yeah.
I just don't know why they go with Loverboy.
Yeah, it's a really neat name to call it Loverboy.
Is there a lover girl?
I mean, would that be Easy Tea?
I was just gonna say like lemonade. Yeah.
My favorite part is producer laughed to that punchline, but she didn't hear the setup, so totally would have got a totally different reaction if she'd heard the setup.
Well,
he didn't say anything.
He didn't
say anything.
Well,
Yeah, I bet you will. Yeah, I bet. Yeah. Oh, I doubt it. There's one thing you don't do. It's watch the show.
I do. You just don't know about it.
Just sucks we're 10 seconds in. It's not hard
Yeah.
to find this one.
Yeah, I know. This one, the minute marker is not going to be the tough bit.
Yeah.
Just in time, come through the chat. Cheers to the IIRonics. Cheers, Justin. Thanks for coming in on our early special. I was going to message you before. I didn't know how to coin this one because I didn't know if happy hour was appropriate because it's usually what we use for our buybacks. But is there like an early drinking thing besides like a happy hour? What would we call this
Tequila
one?
Sunrise.
The Tequila Sunrise edition? Yeah, there you go.
Day early.
So I settled with surprise mother drinkers. Ode to Dexter. But awesome, man. Yeah. Let's see. I don't have anything for news. I mean, I'll throw this at you because I know we're going to talk about it a little more in depth tomorrow, Thursday night on episode 1 with Clump and Amanda, just because it has more to do with AEW than it does anything else. But I know that last week you and I talked about it, or maybe it was even the week before, but it was recently you and I talked about it. The head-to-head business with AEW, Rampage, and SmackDown, and how Tony tried to make it into a big deal, and kind of like stuttered back a little bit. So the numbers all came in, and I just wanted you to know that SmackDown did do one of its worst SmackDowns of all time, with 880-something thousand in the rating deal, and but on FS1. And the only notable bit about that was the previous time they moved to FS1, they did, I think, just over 1 million. It was really close to 1 million. I think it was just over, which was still like half of what they would be getting normally, but it is what it is. Also, keep in mind that Fox Now app does not register viewership, and the Fox Now app already accounts for that and just allows you to watch it anyways. So anyone who watched it through their Fox Now app just didn't get counted, but they never get counted, so I think it's still kind of fair to say. All of that to say, AEW Rampage, with all of their hype, with even their buy-in, with all of the Tony Khan hitting all the interviews to even say Raw sucks, to say he could buy out all of the commercials because he makes all that endless money. Yeah. They did about 400 or 540,000, which a lot of people are calling a victory.
Well, I did see that somebody said that they won the first half hour. And Rampage won the first half hour or something stupid like that. And I was like, come on now.
They won the first half hour in the demo. So that's how they're calling it a victory, is they had less viewership significantly throughout the entire show than SmackDown. But the quote demo that they talk about, which also, by the way, just for record, is not something that was ever talked about prior to this current iteration of a quote wrestling war. Even if you go back to Dave Meltzer magazines back in the day when they talked ratings, it was just general ratings. But
well, then go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, but so the first half hour of AEW did a slightly better in the demo specifically, but less in viewership generally. They did tie, so far as we can tell, like pretty close to the demo throughout the show. They both had like a 0.24 or something like that. Which, I mean, and we don't fucking know shit about any of that or what it's relative to, and we're not advertisers, so it really doesn't affect us. But that's the conversation that's happening. That's all I'm saying, is that that's what everyone's hanging their hat on, is that it is a absolute victory for AEW because they tied in the demo to SmackDown 1 week. The only thing I think that people are neglecting, well, I think there's a couple things they're neglecting. I think, one, they're neglecting the fact that they don't get paid by the advertisers. At least I'm not getting paid by the advertisers. If all these other fans are getting paid by the advertisers, I'd like to know a little bit about that, how I can get in on that, because everyone's very concerned. Yeah, no, I'm like just the only idiot. Just you. I'm the only dumbass who's not getting paid by the advertisers. Because I watch the shows for what I want to watch and enjoy, and I fucking loved SmackDown this week. I've watched it 3 times now. I've not watched a single minute of Rampage. I've been told there's no point to. But regardless of that.
The other thing I was going to say with them talking about we won the first half hour demo thing, you know, that'd be like losing a basketball game. Like, well, we were winning after the first. That should matter. That's a victory.
We were up in the first quarter. Or fucking remember the Patriots won that one Super Bowl where it was like 6-52 at the halftime?
Not that bad, but close.
It was really close to that, dude. It was like 6-52.
It was 28-3. You were like right in the half of both of them, or double both of them.
I legit doubled both of them. That's really good.
I'm kind of impressed.
Yeah.
As much as I know you know about sports, kind of impressed that you did that.
I'm actually wearing a baseball shirt. I almost sent it to you today. I found a baseball shirt I had. It's a San Diego Padres spring training shirt that my brother worked at the what do you call those places where they play the games?
The field?
The field.
Stadium?
He was working at the stadium for something, and they were in town where he was doing spring training, and they left like a box of them and just told people they can grab one because it was what the players were using. And he snatched me up one. So yeah, I was gonna send it to you and be like, oh look, I found my other sports shirt besides my Pat McAfee shirt. But yeah, so I was impressed if I got that close. But I mean, yeah, 100%. What if the other team was all like, well, I mean, I guess we didn't technically win the entire Super Bowl, but we won the first half of the Super Bowl, and that's basically a win for us.
Yeah.
And they get like fucking just quite not like not national champ hats.
Yeah, they hang banners. Almost. We first half Super Bowl champs.
Yeah, first half Super Bowl champions. But I think the conversation that's not happening, because I even saw someone say sometimes a tie is a win. I go, okay, yeah, sometimes. But sometimes a loss is a loss. And what I think that people are neglecting because they're so excited that 1 week they won the demo, or they tied a demo with SmackDown, is that Rampage got like record low viewership in general. That's one of the worst Rampages they've ever had. And it opened up with a CM Punk match. Like, isn't that notable? Like, I was expecting them to do much, much better. And I'm kind of surprised that their numbers are just plummeting like that. I mean, it's not like a fucking dead plummet. It's not like a fuck. I'm not trying to like overdo it, but I did expect them to do. I honestly thought SmackDown was going to do probably just over 1 million. I thought Rampage was going to get close to 1 million. I really thought that. They barely broke 500,000, and I think that's notable because they've been hanging their hat on CM Punk. It opened with a CM Punk match. Fucking nobody watched. What are you gonna say?
Yeah, I was just gonna say the thing is the whole reason why WWE moved to FS1 is because there was a baseball game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it just shows that baseball will kick both of their asses.
Yeah, baseball still the win, still won.
Mm-hmm.
SmackDown's all like, yeah, but we consider it a win.
Yeah. They took over our channel, but
yeah. But yeah, I just thought it was kind of interesting that the way that it's all being spun is that it was a huge victory, and it's actually like really, really bad viewership for them, all things considered. Mm-hmm. The other thing I thought was interesting was I did go back to watch Daniel Bryan versus Suzuki. We're going to talk about it tomorrow, but I didn't watch it till today. I'd already seen SmackDown 3 times before I even saw that match once. I'll just say I wasn't as impressed with it as I was hoping, but I am still going to GCW this weekend to check out 2 Suzuki matches. Go ahead.
But this is one of the things that, you know, when there's all this hype around something, and then you see it, and then you're just saying, well, I was expecting more.
The thing is, I've seen both of them have matches that I thought were absolutely fantastic. I've seen matches from both sides that I loved. This is not a match that I would ever tell someone to watch if they wanted to see a good match by either competitor. That's what it kind of came down to. I was bummed by that. Because I like both of them.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Who's the heavyweight champ in AEW?
It's still Omega.
Is it still Omega? Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, give the people what they want, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. There was a big, everyone thinks it's going to be Hangman Page soon, which is also
about fucking time.
I
haven't seen him in the last 2 years or year and a half, but
which is probably why you feel that way, because I feel like too little too late at this point. But
oh really?
Yeah, but who knows? Who knows? We'll talk about that on episode 1 on Thursday. But I did want to let you know about
Gargano finally winning.
Yeah, Gargano got the championship. I was like, I don't give a fuck about you anymore, dude. You lost in the Chicago street fight. You lost with their hands. Well, fuck, you lost to someone with their hands tied behind her back. You lost a no-armed man match. The fuck? Yeah. So, 100%. But yeah, I thought I just want to let you know that that's what everyone's saying is it was this massive victory, and Tony Khan went on and did a whole thing, and Eric Bischoff made some comments which were awesome, and we're gonna get into it on.
I heard people shit on Eric Bischoff about that.
So funny, but he's been saying it. He's been saying it.
Yeah.
And then I guess this week on 83 Weeks, he says he's gonna. I guess in the next couple of days, he's gonna talk about what really pissed him off finally about it. I mean, if I had to speculate, I think it has to do with the idea that everyone keeps comparing what AEW is doing to what WCW was doing, and it's just flat out not what they were doing. Mm-hmm. WCW literally went intentionally in the same time slot as WWE's primary show to make the point that they could take away viewership from the WWE directly. Mm-hmm. And AEW's just not flat out doing that. And I'm not saying they should, but they're just not. So is it competition if you're not actually vying for the same eyes? You're literally on a different night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, how much crossover is there? We're finding that there's probably, I mean, we're not finding, but it definitely appears like there's not as much crossover as you would think, just because as many people who want to fight about it and pick their dog in the fight and say this is it or bust.
Well, yeah, and that
It's
goes
a lot
to
easier to
the
overlap.
The AEW fans just that can't admit when AEW does something wrong.
Yeah.
Like that,
And then-
you know, with WWE, like, yo, you guys fucked up here. You guys should have done this, or you know, blah blah blah. Everything that AEW does, you know, their fans are just in 100%, and it's like, guys, just it's cool not to like something every once in a while.
Yeah.
You know, but they, like you said, they pick their dog in the fight. They're standing 100% behind them. Good for them. And yeah.
Yeah. But it's also weird because I also feel that people pitch the stuff like you got to pick. You know what I mean? I met a guy this weekend who was back into watching wrestling because he's from Chicago. He loves CM Punk, and so he's been watching AEW, and he's been really enjoying it. And when I challenged him on a few things, he was all like, I even asked him straight up, since CM Punk has been back, as a CM Punk fan, this is strictly from the standpoint of someone who is not a CM Punk fan. I'm not inclined to watch CM Punk unless told I definitely should. I said, since his return, has he done or said anything that has been particularly impressive that me as a non-CM Punk fan should watch to become one? And he goes, well, no, there's nothing that good. And I was like, okay. I just wanted to make sure that I'm not missing anything as a non. So I mean, he is a man of his people. So
Yeah.
if you like him and you're gonna like him anyways, might as well watch, I guess, is really what it is. Definitely doesn't sound can't miss. And then when I was talking about stuff that was going on in WWE, he was like, "Oh, you should tell me things to watch." You know, like I definitely want to give WWE another shot. And you know, I stopped watching for whatever reason. But if there's good stuff, there's good stuff. And it was funny because I was talking to people there who watched WWE. I was talking to one dude in the same conversation, doesn't watch any wrestling, was just like astounded by this conversation we're happening right in front of his eyes as I was defending things and talking about what makes a good wrestler or not. And they're like, because one of the questions they brought up was, how can it, in a world that's predetermined, how can you determine if one person's good or better than someone else? I was like, kind of in the way that the predetermined happens. I was like, kind of like in the way that if they lose, it's about how much do we believe they weren't going to lose, or vice versa. You know what I mean? Like their ability to fool us is really what it comes down to, and their ability to make the other person look also to fool us. You know, like it goes both ways. But it was just fun. But the conversation being that, you know, if you think this is good, wait till you see some of the stuff that some other people are doing. And it was really funny because he was really behind Britt Baker, and nobody in that conversation said, everyone in the conversation said, oh, but the women in WWE are just flat out way better. That's funny.
Yeah,
I just wanted to get you an update on those ratings that we were talking about, because it was just funny that it was this big head-to-head thing. And yeah, went pretty decent as far as I can tell. Smackdown was cool. Was cool. Oh, and then
even on FS1.
Yeah, even on FS1. You want to just get into it? Anything else you wanted to cover at all?
No. The only other thing I had from news-wise, I don't know if you want to cover it, was like Colin Powell passed.
Colin Powell did pass away.
Kind of shocking.
Yeah, from it was a COVID complication, was it not?
Yeah.
Was he in remission or anything? He had like a cancer thing too going on.
COVID and cancer.
That'll do it. That's the cocktail for that.
I was gonna say CC on the rocks.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I liked him, and he's a dude I respected. So to see somebody like that pass from anything just kind of sucks.
Yeah, he definitely accomplished a lot, and he definitely spoke. I was reading a few quotes of him about how important it was for him to be doing a job that he believed to be serving his country. So whether or not you agree with his decisions, he was doing it, trying to be beneficial. Whether or not it was or not, I guess is always the political argument. But he definitely was going from a good place, and as far as that goes.
And to be quite honest, I thought he was going to be the first African American president, like back in the day.
I remember that going around for a while. I think a lot of people did.
Yeah.
That was a big conversation for a while. So,
But anyways, cheers.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
rest in peace. Tears in our beers for sure. I don't think I ever saw a wrestling connection with him though. So.
Yeah. 9/11 happened, and then WWE did a show right afterwards.
Wouldn't it be wild if he had popped on? And you're like, shouldn't you be
Yeah,
busy,
right?
dude?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Interesting. Our door is being knocked on. So,
your
is
gun's
there,
out.
yeah. Is there anything else
Speak-
that you want? Huh?
Speaking of national defense,
Yeah. We have a fence there. This makes for good, compelling TV. So, this is good, compelling stuff. Make sure you yell at them and say, hey, we're filming.
yeah.
Uh,
You don't have a quiet on the set thing on your door?
oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Someone parked somewhere and they're knocking on our door. We're the only motherfuckers in this whole complex who park where we're supposed to, and people are knocking on our door.
Yeah.
Anyways.
To tell on other people.
Yeah.
Hey, did you see those other people that parked in there? We don't care.
Oh, we're the only assholes who park where we're supposed to. All right. Back on track.
My bad.
You ready to get in Smackdown?
Let's lay it down.
Yeah, let's get into some Smackdown. Oh, you ready for a good time? Dude, what do you think of the new intro for Smackdown?
I'm confused by it just because they still have like stars that aren't on it, but I like it.
Yeah, I
I
thought
like it
about
better
that
than
too.
the old one.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I have a feeling that they're gonna just do this simple, switch out, plug and play type of thing, and put in the current roster. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
'Cause
something.
these
That
last,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say these last couple of weeks have been confusing as fuck because I can't until after starting Friday.
Mm-hmm.
I can't keep my head straight on who's on what show yet.
Yeah, I felt really confident. I knew who was going to be on what show, and since there's been so much overlap now from right before the draft, I feel really confused.
Right before and right after, since the draft.
Yeah, ever since the draft, I've been like, wait, they're staying, but they're going, right? But this one's gonna stay. Like, yeah, it's been really confusing that way. But I think anything that they've showed us, especially with all the. Oh, did you notice also they removed? I mean, they did it weeks ago, but they removed the Ric Flair woo from it. They finally patched in over top of where that was the King of Kings coming in from Lemmy about Triple H.
Yeah, I was wondering about because I heard that they did it, but I never knew exactly where, and I didn't care to look it up. But
that was in like the beginning, then now forever thing where they do it.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, I'm saying I didn't know where in the sequence it was.
It
But
was
I
right
remember
after the Rock.
All right.
Yeah.
They should have switched it to the Sting Woo just to piss off AEW.
That'd be funny. That'd be good.
No, that's not Flair. That's Sting.
Yeah, different one, different guy. I thought they were gonna put in Macho, but it's interesting they went Triple H because I guess if you think about it,
Dude,
Triple H is a safe bet.
100%. But why isn't there a Macho Man? Oh yeah, like right at the end. Oh, that'd be amazing.
Oh yeah, I think you're dope.
Then, now, and forever. Oh yeah.
What they have shown though, with all their different entrances and as they've done different like shake-ups and moves and stuff, every single person in there is interchangeable with the click of a few buttons. So I do think you're right.
Yeah.
Once the draft is all said and done and people are where they're at, we're going to see a few shifts, I'm sure. But I really like the new look. I like the new font. I even like the little match stuff they do before the matches. It's all like broken up and stuff. I think it looks dope, dude. I like the new look.
Yeah,
I'm excited about
change it up.
Yep. Let's see. It does open up with Edge cutting a massive promo in ring. What do you think of it?
Whenever Edge pulls out that chair, I know to strap in and pay attention.
Yeah. The old
But
Edge strap in.
Yeah. Strap in Edge.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I thought it was great, even though he's on Raw.
Is he? Fuck. I think you're right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's one of those right off the bat. Just like how Raw opened up with Charlotte, who's supposed to be on SmackDown.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Like I'm so Up is down and down is up.
Yeah. So you gonna say about it?
I liked it. I mean, I thought that they were going to be done after SummerSlam, and now that because I know I haven't really discussed it, but I think it's great what they're doing. Seth showing up at Edge's house, and everything that they're doing is just awesome.
Yeah, no, I'm loving it. I love everything they're doing. I loved the intensity of this whole thing. Even we can talk about Seth's because it was kind of in its own bubble too. Seth's response to the whole thing I thought was fucking dope too. One thing that didn't make it to this, obviously, because it was on Talking Smack, which is like the next day. Kayla was asking Seth, whatever Kayla asks, and he went off on something about how he's been in the Hell in a Cell more than Edge ever has, and how he knows what it takes and how he can get it done, and talking about how much it affects people. And he's like, if you don't believe me, ask everyone I've been in the cage with. And he goes, oh wait, 2 out of 3 of them aren't even here anymore. And he just starts laughing. I was like, fuck,
nice.
Yeah, just fucking dig on Bray and Dean Ambrose. So fucking good.
With who's Edge in the Hell in the Cell with? Was it Taker?
He's been in there. Well, who's the third?
No. Who has Edge been in Hell in the Cell with?
Yeah, Dean Ambrose and Bray Wyatt are 2 of them. Those are the 2 who are not there anymore. That's what I'm saying.
I know. I'm saying who has Edge been in with?
Oh, Edge.
Yeah. Is it Triple H maybe?
I don't know if he's. I mean,
Taker?
let me see. Edge, Hell in a Cell. Let's see what comes up.
Sorry, you're quicker than I.
Undertaker versus Edge, Hell in a Cell. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the.
Well, Seth Rollins has never faced Undertaker in Hell in a Cell. I think that says something.
Yeah, that's a good point too. Oh, here's a list of all the matches people have had in it. Let's see, victories, losses, appearances. A lot of 1s and 2s. Edge has only been in there with Undertaker, and Seth has been in 3, but I don't have like the other match on it. I'll have to look. But that's coming up. He's going to be on that one. Seth there. Let me see. Seth and Dean. So before that one, he was in one too, huh? He was in one with. This can't be right.
Kevin Owens? No.
No, I'm not even seeing like a tag match.
So
what was he talking about 3? I don't see a third one.
I'll pull out my Googler.
CM Punk. Man. Seth and Dean. Seth and Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens beat Seth
It
Rollins.
was Kevin Owens.
For the Universal title. Yeah, October 30th, 2016. So, yeah. Yeah, man.
Nice.
But I'm loving this whole build. I like the way that we're getting it at a crown jewel. I like that they did. Remember how when they did Hell in a Cell at the beginning of the year, we're like, this is really fucking weird because how are you supposed to have Hell in a Cell? Because it always comes around in October. But they wanted to do it with Roman and Jey Uso and Bailey and was it Bianca?
Yeah, because I heard that the reason why they wanted to do it is they wanted to do it without fans. Like something about them doing it in the Thunderdome, they wanted to do or something. And it might have just been at the time one of those things where, because I know certain arenas can't have Hell in a Cell based on the spacing capacity.
That's cool.
So it might have been like hey, we have to have it here because we don't know the availability of these other spots because of COVID and shit like that.
I mean, it could also have been that they just didn't want to have an October pay-per-view. They just wanted to let Crown Jewel be Crown Jewel. But I guess at that point, we really didn't even know when anything was going to open up again.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, dude, this whole build for it has been so dope. I love it.
And this is actually the first time that I've actually truthfully cared about watching Crown Jewel.
Yes.
All the other Crown Jewels, I feel like it's been like, well, I'm supposed to watch it because I'm a wrestling fan and I think I want to enjoy it, but there's no matches I want to see. Greatest Royal Rumble, like cool. I love Royal Rumble, but I mean,
Oh,
you know what I mean?
agree.
Like there's actual matches, not just icon versus or Hall of Famer versus Hall of Famer just to have the match. Like there's actually storylines going into this one for the first time, I think.
Yeah, all the other ones felt like a big stuttering thing. It felt like all the shows were split up between their storylines and their crown jewel builds. Like previously to this one. This one, it feels like they're just sticking with what the stories are, and they're just going to pay off what they're paying off at Crown Jewel. And I really like the idea that they're paying off to the draft. That it's like, all right, after the draft, everything changes, and they're letting Crown Jewel be, in a sense, a big reset, which really goes to show, like, remember how we were talking about how Crown Jewel was like the WrestleMania of house shows for a while? This kind of makes it, in a sense, a secondary WrestleMania to have a big reset in October, and then you're gonna have another reset in April. It's kind of like right there, like a 6-month resets.
Yeah, and I'm all for it. I think it's great that they put the draft right before it. Yeah, because normally you hear after WrestleMania the cuts. Obviously this past year or 2 years have been kind of crazy and ridiculous with the cuts, but normally it was after WrestleMania, after the season is over type of thing. There were cuts. And now it's like, cool, there's the reset with the cuts after WrestleMania, and then the reset with, the draft.
Yeah. No, I think it's great. And a lot of times they used to do the draft like right after WrestleMania to let it just kind of coincide. I like this kind of split. So, yeah, I'm completely on board with that. I did love this. I do like the. I mean, and like you said, with Crown Jewel, we'll talk about it in a bit. But with Crown Jewel, everything's leading up to it to where I go, this is a pay per view that I have to watch. Where all the other ones were like, oh, there's a match or two on there that I'll be interested to see. You know what I mean? This was followed up though by King of the Ring tournament semifinal: Finn Balor versus Sami Zayn. I don't go into as a fan personally. I don't go into matches and try to consider politically why someone may or may not win. I go into the match just to watch the match, and I definitely got lost in this match and thought, hey, there's been other precedents set before. Who's to say another precedent couldn't be set? So I just was in it to watch, and I thought this match was fucking fantastic, dude.
Oh yeah, I love both talents. To me, it caught me off guard. Like at the beginning of King of the Ring, I was like, cool, Sami's advancing, and it wasn't until going into this one, or I think when they announced that it's going to be in Saudi Arabia, they'll crown it, and I was like, I don't think they're there yet on that one. So I was like, man, like, it sucks because, like, I didn't want to know the outcome, but I pretty sure thought I knew the outcome, and, it is what it is. But the match was great. Like, it sets up for, I think, I think Sami's getting a nice little push. Oh, yeah. It's kind of like slow and kind of like he's in everything, and it's like, cool, he needs to be. He's a great talent. And
he's such a utility player. We need a segment out here. We need to get the crowd to respond this way or that. We need to get this dude over. We need, like, it really felt, as much as they've been going for so many years, it did feel a little bit like Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn in WrestleMania kind of was rushed. You know what I mean? Like, they weren't in a program together, and all of a sudden they are, and it was like, hey, in a month or two, let's do WrestleMania. Or I think it was like 1 month. Like, it wasn't much of a build, but it was also like there's so much history there that it was okay, but it was also felt in that same utility sense of we need an awesome one-on-one match in here. Can Sami and Kevin just get us there and do that match? And it was like, the answer is yes, 100%. There's no way that they would miss, Yeah. But yeah, this match was so good, it could have been on a pay-per-view. Finn Balor versus Sami Zayn is a personal dream match of mine. I love both talents, like you said, and so.
Is it a wet dream match?
It's a boner match.
Yeah.
Let's see.
No, yeah. Like, I don't know. I'm, after seeing what happened in Raw, and obviously we'll get to it, like, I think this tournament's awesome.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh yeah, I'm loving the tournament.
Yeah, I think we need to do this regularly. The only thing I don't like, once again, is they separate it. I like the old school, like 3 matches in one night. Prove to us you're a badass.
Yeah, I really like when they do qualifying matches to get into the pay-per-view, but then you have 3 matches that night, like 8-man tournament in one night. But do qualifying matches to get into the tournament.
Yeah, because then you got filler on Raw and SmackDown. You earn your spot. It's not just given to you.
That's true too, yeah.
And, you go from there. Because that was one of the things that got me was that, it's been King Nakamura, which I'm fine with. And then he's like, oh, well, he's giving up the crown. Well, at least have him in the fucking tournament. Have Sami cheat to win in round 1. Oh my God, we're getting a new king. He, just like in sports, where you have the champion in there. As soon as the champion gets dethroned, hey, we got a new champion. There's guaranteed to be a new champion. King of the Ring would have been great with that.
Yeah.
And then especially since Sami can't go to Saudi Arabia for political reasons. Hey, I beat the King of the Ring, or I beat the IC champion. Then there's a storyline between that.
Yep.
Because Shinsuke with the IC belt, as much as I love it, has really sucked.
It's the weirdest thing, man. Every time he wins it, it's really fucking exciting, and then he just fucking does nothing with it at all for months. He'll just be the champion holder for fucking no reason for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
it
happened.
almost feels like,
isn't this the third time Shinsuke's held the IC title and just done nothing with it? Not even matches?
I think he's held the IC twice in the US once. But I think it's all the same. Like, he's basically, to me, he feels like a part-time worker. He feels like Brock Lesnar holding the Universal title for 500 and whatever days.
Yeah. It's fucking crazy, dude. And it's not like people don't know how good he is or don't want to see him in matches. Like, it's all so evident every time he's out there. He's beloved. He's fantastic. He can get it done. But then they put him on. They put the title on him, and it's just like, all right, well, we'll just have him come out and dance for a little while and then leave. Which, I mean, don't get me wrong, is a crowd hype moment, and it's pretty cool. But I want matches with the guy.
But and it could do without the IC title.
Yes.
To me, the whole thing with Boogs and Nakamura, it's like, I've loved it. McAfee getting on the table, hyping it up is great. But this past week when it happened, I was like, well, is he actually going to have a match? And McAfee gets all excited, and then they're gone again. Yeah. And at this point, I think it's not only hurting Nakamura, it's hurting Boogs. And I think, hey, if you're going to have that turn, do it now. Go out there, do the same thing, almost like the Lacey Evans when you heard the fucking siren and she did her catwalk and left. Do it with Nakamura, and then have Boogs smack him with the guitar and be like, yo, I want that belt. At least something, but this parading around on a catwalk, not cool.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, does Shinsuke stay on SmackDown?
Yes.
And Balor moved to Raw, right?
Yeah, and Priest stayed on Raw. Because normally they either switch the IC in US or they keep them the same.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I gotcha. Because I was thinking, like, with Finn, I was like, why couldn't we just be having some Shinsuke Finn matches back and forth? You know what I mean? Like, But, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know what they're doing with that. I mean, I guess we won't talk about that when we get there, but because we just did. But, yeah, I agree. I think it's hurting both of them at this point because it's a fun moment and it's entertaining. And I will say that being in the crowd at SummerSlam, it was cool when they did that with Shinsuke there, just to kind of hype up the crowd for a minute and get people cheering. But also, like, there's a certain point where you go, like, I just wanted to see the wrestlers wrestle at least a little bit. Like, I mean, he's fucking holding a title.
Yeah. Well, think about, just if you're like a huge Shinsuke fan, that's your dude. You go and buy a ticket to, SmackDown. You hear his music, you hear Boogs, you're fucking excited as shit, and then they just parade him in the back, and all right, that was it.
Yeah.
Like, how quickly would you be pissed off not only at WWE but at Shinsuke himself, even though it's not his fault?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's true.
hopefully, something happens soon.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe after the draft. I do think that too. I was figuring there was a lot of stuff that's been happening that's made me think like after the draft though. You know what I mean? Like I kept feeling like, oh, after Crown Jewel, like I feel like stuff's gonna pick up.
But
go ahead.
Just looking forward once again to Raw, like you're thinking, all right, the belts are gonna stay on the brand, this and that. Like how big would it have been if Shinsuke, let's say lost the IC title to let's say Balor, and Balor's like, cool, I'm taking it to Raw, and then SmackDown sitting there and we're like, well, we need a secondary title, like we're gonna challenge somebody, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Throw crazy stuff out there because once again with the women's we'll get there, but yeah, I thought it was gonna go one way, it didn't, and now I think I don't know, we'll get there. Sorry.
Yeah.
Jumping all around.
Yeah, well, it's all right. That's been Sports Beard's thing lately. Take us all around.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we got off the tracks last week.
We didn't even
Crazy
get on the
train.
tracks. We didn't even get
I
on.
was gonna say, yeah.
It was awesome.
We
It
just
was a
kept
good time.
bullshitting, yelling at each other, and then all of a sudden you're like, all right, last call. I was like, hey, we didn't even talk about wrestling.
Yeah, we barely talked about wrestling at all. But it was all good. It was all good. We'll definitely have him back on again. He's been messaging me too. He was messaging me while he was watching Raw last night also. So we'll talk about some of those takes too. But after that, we did have Naomi come out for her match against Sonya Deville. And then we did have a little promo here, which I enjoyed. So Sonya Deville comes out and says, hey, fuck all y'all. I'm bringing out Shayna Baszler for no reason. And then Shayna and Sonya go to just take an ass whooping on Naomi, as Bishop from Terrible Wrestling Take says, catch an ass whooping.
Yeah.
I do think Naomi looked pretty strong here, though, because she kept getting the better of them for a moment or two here before ultimately, obviously, somebody else, like, the numbers game was the thing. Even Michael Cole said on commentary, he goes, typically they tag in and out, but I guess that's just not going to be the case tonight.
Well, Sonya talked about that. Like at the beginning, the ref tried to get her out, and he goes, no. She's like, we're going to do it like this. And it's like, ooh, I'm loving it. It's going to lead to a one-on-one that we called for a while back. And even if, let's say, Sonya becomes a full-time competitor, how badass of a team would it be with Sonya and Shayna going for the titles? Ooh, I'd like that. A lot better than that, that's for sure.
Producer actually brought that up while we were watching last week. She said, what if Sonya and Shayna team up? And I was like, I guess they could. I was like, but we just got Shayna out of a team. And then we saw this, and I was like, well, maybe it would be good.
Yeah. All right.
Plays out pretty good. But yeah, I'm excited to see Sonya get involved a little bit because we could probably get more matches out of her. I'm excited to see Naomi in an actual storyline here. This is clearly not the end of this. I'm wondering if this turns into 2 more tag teams, though. Is somebody going to team up with Naomi? Is Naomi going to be like, I'm not going out there alone? And who would Naomi get that would be as credible as a Shayna or Sonya?
I don't know. Well, Tamina was a part of Team Bad. There's that connection.
That's
and
true.
oh wait, no, that's Nia with the bloodline.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, actually, that could work though. Nia could come back because Nia was leaving as kind of a babyface there at the end because Shayna was being a bitch and all that and broke her arm, and we haven't seen her obviously. So you could have Naomi saying, "Oh, tag team member of my choosing," and then I'm not like music girls.
I'm not like the others. However it goes.
Yeah, 100%, dude. And then you have Shayna go, Shayna looks like she's seen a ghost. Oh my God. They used to be former tag team champions together.
And all of a sudden, JR is back on SmackDown.
Yeah. All of a sudden, JR's back. Back out!
My
Back out! You bastard! Dude, I was listening to some old JR commentary recently, and I remembered what made him so good is actually, as much as people might not think about it right now, it's actually the exact thing that Pat McAfee is bringing to the table. JR was a legit sports guy who legitimately loved what he was watching and was passionately involved in the story of it all. There was something that happened. I don't remember who it was or who was involved, but he just goes like, "Oh my God, that bastard cheated to win. He goddamn screwed the champion. He screwed him like a bastard." Like, he just kept screaming he was a bastard.
Mm-hmm.
And I was
I would
like,
guess it's either The Rock or Stone Cold.
I think it was Kurt Angle being screwed by, or screwing
Triple
someone
H.
else. Triple H or something, yeah. Or vice versa. It was something like that, where he's all like, "That son of a bitch!" But he was so passionately into the storyline that, I mean, that's also one of the things that McAfee brings to a whole bunch of stuff. Like, even when they were talking about, like, the stuff that Draft was bringing up, and they've been showing all these montage videos coming through here. And we skipped one, and I'll go back to it. But they talk about, it's like, after the draft, we got Roman Reigns. Pat McAfee just stands up at the desk. He's all like, "We did it! I can't believe it! We are keeping Roman Reigns, the tribal chief!" Like, the fact that he just fucking loves it like it's any other sport you would love. Like, it's great.
Yeah.
As much as we've been saying McAfee is like a Bobby Heenan, I'm starting to think in a lot of ways he's also like a Jim Ross. He's kind of a right there in the middle.
100%. And that's what I was going to say, is that with McAfee, he's kind of like Corey now, where they toe the line back and forth between the face and the heel commentator.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think that's great. I like it. It brings a dynamic there that basically just shows that they're fans.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And because there's a lot of times where, you know, I'm sure you can say the same, where, hey, I'm rooting for the face on this one, but the heel on this one, and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
And it just feels to me that both of them, you know, Corey's kind of slowly adapting it, but they just basically are just fans, and they're just enjoying what they want. Because, you know, I noticed it a couple weeks ago where Corey said something, and I was like, wait, you're supposed to be the heel, and it was something for the face. And then when the heel came out, he was still the heel, but then, you know, they flip-flop back and forth, and it worked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Dude. Absolutely, dude. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. After that, we had the Seth Rollins thing, which we already kind of went over. So I'm going to keep it moving here. And that's when we did get
over
over
the promo
to...
or the video package you were talking about. You said we're going to...
Oh, yeah. Real early on. I think it was right after the Edge thing, or maybe it was right after the first match with Finn Balor. But they did a promo package for Crown Jewel about Paul Heyman's involvement between Roman and Brock Lesnar. And they played a ton of clips from throughout the career of advocacy of Paul Heyman with Brock Lesnar. And then at the end, too, as they're bringing in all the Roman stuff, dude, the way that they were cutting the audio, Roman Reigns is the reigning, and then it goes, reigning, defending, cutting back and forth between the Roman and Brock way that he used to say it. Also was highlighting the subdued version of Roman now versus the raw, passionate excitement he had for Brock Lesnar then. You know what I mean? Ladies and gentlemen, you know what I mean? Like when he was like, the reigning. And now it's very matter of fact. He is your reigning. Yes, my tribal chief. And becomes super subservient. I was looking up some pictures even, and I was thinking about doing one of those like how it started and how it's going memes. Because the how it started thing, when you remember back in the old Thunderdome era, when Roman's back for payback, and he goes to sign the contract, and it pans out, and there's Paul Heyman. He has that devilish grin on his face. And when he comes out with Roman behind him, or when he comes out behind Roman for every couple weeks after that, he'd have that almost that Jack Black smile with the eyebrows. And then now they're
Grinch.
Literally sitting in the Grinch, yeah.
The Grinch smile. That's what it always reminded me of. The Grinch where it like kind of like curls a couple times.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
yeah, that. Oh,
And
yeah.
now there's just clip after clip of Paul literally crying and holding his
Yeah.
hand over his mouth, holding that title like he was holding it up a long time, and now he's like hugging it like, oh my God. The idea
Yeah.
that Roman's like, grabs him by the fucking meaty cheeks, his meat cheeks,
Mhm.
and moves his,
Oh, yeah, no.
What?
Yeah, Roman's over there like, hey, Paul, hold my pocket.
Yeah.
We're in the yard right now. Hold my pocket. And even, we'll get to it, but he hid behind Roman when Brock went out. Like, he's such a little, scared little dog right now, and it's great.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think what's also great is that they're doing it enough to where you go, God damn, Paul's so good at this and he's crazy. But the way that video package subconsciously was planting in that Paul is a fragment of what he used to be was so fucking brilliant. And then Paul sent out a
Shell of
tweet.
himself.
Yeah. Yeah. Going from, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. And when he would when they would do the weigh-ins and stuff, not the weigh-ins, but when they would do the announcement, he would grab the mic. No, give me that. The ring.
You can't do it right. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't do it right. Defending. Yeah. But now with Roman, he just lets the announcer do the announcing. He just does his thing. He escorts him out. Yeah, he just.
He's a bitch.
I'm the wise man. How about your wise man? So good, dude. I loved it. And then Paul put out a tweet where he said, I'm going to walk in with Roman Reigns, the reigning defending Universal Champion, and I will be walking out with the Universal Champion. But he placed his words so carefully as to not say who he's walking out with. He's just walking in with Roman, who is the Universal Champion, and when he leaves, he will be leaving the side of the Universal Champion. And I was like, fucking so good. So good. Yeah. I love it. Oh, Grim Reaper coming through. Cheers, Grim Reaper coming through. Hello. La, la, la.
There was no ding-dong there.
That's why he didn't get the ding-dong. He got the belly button. So, yeah. That's been awesome. All these video packages they put together. The one for Kevin Owens was sick. The one they did for Sheamus was dope. I love it, man. I love all these hype packages for people we've been seeing forever. Just reminding you that they're fucking badasses, man.
They might not be on the main stage, but they're all top tier talent.
Yeah, they can't all main event every show. There's not enough. That would be a fucking crazy match every week. And they can't all be champion at one time. But don't forget that any one of these people could be champion at any time. I love it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And I'm so glad because, like I said, I wasn't here for the draft. But I'm so glad Kevin Owens went to Raw. I feel like as much as I love SmackDown, that they underutilized him way too much.
Yes. Yeah.
Him and Sami were both utility players. You got the player that can be the catcher, the shortstop, second baseman, outfielder, wherever you need me, coach, I'm there. You have two of those, and it's like, and Kevin Owens going back to Raw, I think he's going to have a big year after this.
I think it's very possible, too, because the other thing I've been saying about SmackDown, my problem with SmackDown, my problem with Roman Reigns, is he's so fucking good that he's literally a ceiling.
Yeah.
Who can you have that's believably going to be in a story with him where you're going to walk away saying, yeah, this is the time? You know what I mean? It's just insane. So, but when you look over at Raw, and Drew McIntyre could lose at any second, and I wouldn't be blinking by it. You know what I mean? You look over there,
and now he's
Big
on SmackDown.
Now he's on SmackDown. So let Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns schlitz about it. You know what I mean? Do you think they're gonna fucking put the title on Brock and go back to Brock and Drew?
No. Sorry, no.
Okay.
I don't think. I think they're gonna solidify Roman over Brock here.
Yeah.
Just because
know,
Roman's been so, the big dog. He's been the guy.
Yeah.
And
Believe that.
believe that.
Yeah.
But I think with
It's his yard now.
it's his yard. Friday night yard. But he I don't because I'm trying to think back. I don't remember him actually beating Brock.
Oh, I believe he beat Brock off.
No.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roman
It's the
versus-
rules of the yard.
Yeah, that's part of the yard.
Yeah. And now that's why Heyman's holding his pocket.
Yeah.
It's a tit for tat type of thing. Like, hey.
All right. I have this for you already. Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns have had 6 matches. 6!
Yes.
6 matches! 6 matches!
And Brock won, I'd say 4 out of them. Roman might have won 1, and Seth won the other.
Oh, that's a good point, too. All the mixes there. Let's see. Roman Reigns has won twice. Brock Lesnar has won 3.
And Seth won 1.
And Seth won 1. But there's also tag matches and shit. Let's see. So
No
hold
one
on.
gives a shit about that.
Brock versus Roman versus Seth counted as a match, and obviously Seth won that one. Roman versus Brock versus Dean. Get his title. Roman had to go through. Reigns pinned Ambrose to win that match.
I was going to say, because a lot of them were somebody winning over the other person, but I don't think Roman's ever
Pinned him.
definitively won over Brock.
Let's see. Well, then there's
So
the
he
triple
beat
threat.
Ambrose.
The SummerSlam triple threat, I believe, is where Brock pinned someone else. Brock Beast Incarnate pinned Reigns to retain his title. Oh, wow. Yeah, the SummerSlam Fatal 4-Way.
Mm-hmm.
Brock pinned Roman definitively. But that was the Fatal 4-Way where it was him, Braun Strowman, and Samoa Joe. That was the one where Brock Lesnar went through a table and then left for 20 minutes, then came back to finish the matchup.
Yeah, he had to take his nap.
Yeah, take a nap. And then you had Brock versus Roman for the Universal title at WrestleMania 34. That was famously won by Brock Lesnar, who then threw the title at Vince McMahon when he went back. Goes, "Here's your fucking title." And goes, "You son of a bitch!" And everyone's all like, "I love this business." And that's where Roman got all fucking bloodied. We did have the Universal Championship Steel Cage match. This is a good one too, because that was the one where they went through the cage and then the referee made the wrong call and they had to pull back on it. But even then, Lesnar was given the win there, and that was the one where everyone thought that clearly had to be a mistake because they wanted Roman to win it. Yeah, because Roman came out, and then it was all like, "Nope, his back."
And that was in Saudi Arabia, wasn't it?
Yep, that was the Greatest Royal Rumble. And then we got Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns for Universal Championship SummerSlam 2018. Reigns hit the spear to get the win.
So he did. He has.
He won 1. And then now we got the crown jewel coming up. So
it's like
Roman's
two and
won 1 out of all of them.
Yeah. Well,
Because
he's won 2, but he also pinned Ambrose.
Well, that's what I mean. As far as pins go against Brock,
Yeah.
Roman's done that
He's got
once.
1. Yeah. Okay.
But it wasn't within 4 minutes. Me and my sword did it in 4 minutes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I beat Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar in like 4 minutes with my sword. Oh, yeah.
It's not his sword, it's Vince's.
It's Vince's sword. My sword I named after my grandma. Wouldn't it be great if he was all
His
like,
mom.
look,
It's his mom, not even his grandma.
Well, it's the
his
weirdest
mom.
part. The weirdest part is that Vince named his own sword after Drew's mom. Like, think about that.
Yeah. That's
Because
what
we
I'm
know
saying.
it's Vince's sword.
Shane and Drew are half brothers.
Yes.
Step
Shane and
brothers.
Drew must be half brothers from Scottish descent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they've been to Scotland before, so it's not really that far-fetched to think that... You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why else would Drew have a sword named after his mom given him by Vince? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. It's all there, man. Piece it together. We're no fools.
It's on the writing. Yeah. I mean, if Kurt Angle is Jason Jordan's dad.
Yeah. Kurt Angle has
this
Jason
one's
Jordan.
obvious.
Yeah. And also, if one of Vince's sons was Hornswoggle, why couldn't it be Drew?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, come on. Who names a sword after
Fuck it.
someone's mom?
It's Game of Thrones over here.
It is real Games of Thrones. All right. Well, so then that brings us to
Drew's on the Night's Watch. He's a crow.
Drew's not on the Night's Watch. He slept through the whole thing, and that's how he became. Right?
Yeah.
If he was on the Night's Watch, maybe Vincent never would have gotten to his mom. What? What?
I mean,
It's not winter that's
Drew-
coming.
Yeah.
Stop it. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Hello.
Zing. Oh.
Good night.
But if Drew is on Night's Watch, that's where you put your bastard. He's in Night's Watch.
Oh, that's a good point. All bastards go to
Yeah.
Night's Watch.
Yeah.
Drew,
Good
you
saying.
bastard.
You bastard, get over there, you fucking crow.
Well, that makes sense. It's all coming together. It makes sense. Oh, hold on. We got somebody in the chat. Micah Larkey. This is interesting to be coming through our Twitch. Kev, loving the handlebar.
Yes.
All right, loving the handlebar. I suppose that means a new sheriff is in town. And then he tipped us 100 bits. Thanks for
Nice.
dropping your bits on us. We appreciate the showering of bits at all times.
We love every little bit.
Yeah.
Subscribe to our YouTube.
Cheers to every little bit of Micah's bits on our bits. I'll plug the YouTube and the New Wave right before we talk about Raw.
Yeah.
I'm just letting producer know because she's like, you know what it's like.
She gave you your chore list, and you gotta fucking
I know. She's
check them off.
fucking from across the room. What?
I can right here.
No, you're not right
What?
here. I am right
right here until a
minute
ago.
Bullshit.
I'm talking about Micah's bits.
You're not.
Mhm.
Can't talk about a guy's bits around here.
No.
This makes no sense.
No, stop talking shit. Talk about the show.
I feel like Judas. What have you become?
Okay. Stop it.
I'm becoming.
I'm a
I'm
pig.
becoming. Judas in the chat.
You see, guys, what I have to put up with? This is what I have to put up with.
Micah is the Judas in the chat. That's what happened. God. All right, Kev, let's get back on track if we could and have less of these terrible distractions coming from
No, because that's no
all
fun.
angles. That's no fun. We did get the Queen's Crown semifinal matches. Zelina's versus Carmella's, the most beautiful woman in all of WWE. The promo they cut before this match, dude, I fucking loved. The chemistry between Zelina and Carmella is so fucking good. And I loved the way that Zelina was talking to Carmella in the right cadence so Carmella could literally do the hand gesture and smile and do the whole obnoxious, like, ooh, that's me. Like, so fucking funny.
Mm.
And then,
And then
obviously,
they
winning
agreed
the
not
match.
to. Yeah, they agreed
Go ahead.
not to hit each other in the face.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need your face mask. Like, I won't hit you there. We're good. And
Yeah,
then,
and-
obviously Carmella smacks Zelina. It was an accident. And then Zelina attacks Carmella. And yeah.
Well, I also
And I
thought it
like
was done
how-
really well where Carmelo had control of the match for the majority of the beginning of the match because she just was coming off as a more seasoned, better wrestler, which I thought was a really good story there. And then Zelina resorted to punching Carmella in the face to try to get the edge.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, take off your clip-on nails, pull out your fake earrings.
Mm-hmm.
We're in scrap.
Yeah, let's get scrappy. As
Mhm.
as Pat McAfee said, ground and pound like the Cleveland Browns over the crown. Pat McAfee solely said that on. I loved it.
That's right. My AZ Cardinals beat them Cleveland Browns last week.
Ground and pound. Why does he say everything with that? Why does he do that? Smackdown. Ground and pound. Why does he say that? Where's he from or something? Is that like a
I was
thing
gonna
from where
say,
he's from?
maybe.
I don't know, man. He's been cracking me the fuck up. He even said right meow.
Right, me. Oh, I heard that.
Yeah.
Fucking
So fucking
Super
funny.
Troopers reference.
So fucking funny. And then, so it was really funny right before the match even starts. Carmella tells the girls on the outside, she goes, "Oh, you guys are so cute. You guys look great, but I'm not going to need you. I'm not going to be wearing a mask. It's all fine. Step back."
Shut
Yeah, she had a really good interview on After the
what?
Bell. On After the Bell, Carmella was on it, and she talked about how the mask was made, how difficult it was made, and everything.
It's
I don't know why it
diamond
needed. Yeah. Well, she didn't make it.
Right.
She was just involved in the making of it. Yeah, Jason Baker, who did the Fiend mask. I mean, you could always put on a mic and interrupt properly.
There's no way that the same dude that made the Fiend mask made that thing.
He did, which is wild to think about because it's like.
Yeah, it looks like Michael Myers bejeweled his mask and said, "Hey, Carmella, here you go."
Yeah, that's what makes it so interesting to me is the fact that it was Jason Baker and he did make. I mean, he made a like the skull mask thing for. He does the Slipknot ones. He did the Triple H skull mask thing. He did obviously the every variation of the Fiend, even the Fiend's belt and stuff. So the idea that this mask looks the way that it does is incredibly intentional.
It's so stupid.
Yeah.
Gosh. It looks like my niece fucking took paper, threw a bunch of glue on there, fucking threw some glitter, and was like, there's a mask. Cut out some eye holes. Yeah.
It's absolutely wild.
And he got paid for that? He got paid for that?
I think he also made the Nikki Cross one too, I think. The eye mask that she wears. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's so crazy that because you know how detailed the dude is, that when you see this mask and it looks kind of ridiculous, you go, that's 100% what they were going for. This wasn't like how it turned out.
Either that or he's like, yo, WWE's been making some cuts, looking for my way out. Like, I'm done with them. Threw that out there, and they're like, we love it. And he's like, fuck.
Trying to get yourself fired.
I'm still here. Yeah. God damn it.
Yeah.
Like, you would think it'd be some, like, jewels making looking like some eyelashes and shit and whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, Grim Reaper's got an answer for us, and there he goes. Future two-time Hall of Famer Pat McAfee says Dawn, like Smackdown, because it pays homage to Mark Madden, a fellow Pittsburgh native. Oh, that's dope. There you go. I thought there was some sort of reason to be weird.
McAfee's from Plum.
He's from Plum?
Plum, Pennsylvania. He went to W, West Virginia.
Oh,
right outside of
that
Pittsburgh.
sounds pretty good.
Morgantown. Ooh, crazy city.
And then Grim says, Mark Madden has a radio show in Pittsburgh and says Dawn syllable a lot with a bunch of words, which is exactly what Pat's doing. Like I said, Grand and Pond, like the Cleveland Browns. Yeah, it's dope, dude. Over the Cron. Any place where you can put it, he puts it. I've said that a lot about the guy. But the other thing in the After the Bell promo, as long as that's what we're talking about now, because apparently that's what we're talking about now. Do you remember after SummerSlam when I talked about the brilliance that was Carmella?
Oh, yes.
That when she came out and sucked the energy out of the room, it was so vital to the importance that was going to be Becky's pop.
Oh, yeah. Like, that was amazing.
Yeah.
What's his name? Greg Hansen? Not Hansen.
Hamilton. Mm-hmm.
Greg Hamilton, like, you know, we were there, we were live, and, you know, and as soon as he's like, oh, Sasha can't compete, we're like, oh, what the fuck? And then we're like, oh, here it is. And then fucking Carmella comes out there between his delivery and her, you know,
self-importance.
Slayer? Yeah, sportsmanship. I don't know. Like, that was amazing. And we're just like, oh, fuck, this is what we're getting. Yeah. And then even, like, hey, the bell's about to ring, and all of a sudden, boom, light switch, you know, you flip it on, you flip it off.
Yeah.
Just, holy fuck, oh shit, we did get it.
Yeah.
Now we're even more excited because there was, like, there was no energy there. Everyone's just like, fuck.
Yeah, she was out there actively just destroying the energy in the whole building, which was so brilliant and so good because it was so important to Becky getting the literal biggest pop she could ever get. And if they had not had Carmella come out and just said it's going to be Becky Lynch and boom, she comes out, obviously a bunch of people would have been really excited. We all would have screamed, but it was what it was because it came from like this depth of everyone's gut of like, fuck, we're getting this match again. You know what I mean? And just like the way that she was like pandering to the crowd and waving and smiling so big and laughing like, oh, you're welcome to everybody Well,
yeah,
in the
I'm
after
here.
Yeah, I'm here. And of course it would be me. Well, who else could possibly deserve it? Of course it's me, you know. But in the I tweeted out about that, and then we talked about it more in depth on the show. We made a clip of it, and Carmella did like those. And when you listen to the After the Bell promo, or not promo, but podcast, she talks about that moment. She talks about it almost identically to how we talked about it. And so all I could think was that I really hope that she did hear it and that it helped her feel better about the moment, or even help verbalize what she was trying to do, and, you know, feel appreciated by the whole thing, because a lot of people will shit on it for no good reason. And like, it was one of the things where I heard her say it and it just made me feel good. Like, if she's listening, she's listening. You know what I mean? Like, if she saw the clip, she like took it to heart, and I think that's awesome.
Hell yeah.
So
it's always cool when you say something, especially, you know, on our podcast and whatnot, and then it reiterates what you're, you know, the point you're trying to get across.
yeah, 100%.
You know,
100%.
like Bruce Pritchard, we know he loves our show. It's clear.
Oh, yeah. Bruce Pritchard is an avid drinker to the show, 100%. There's no doubt about it.
He just
does too
doesn't
much.
tip us.
No,
Bullshit.
he doesn't give us the bits. That's for sure. Let's see. There is something else that Pat McAfee said in this match, and he said, so when Carmella, before the match gets started, tells the women on the outside, I'm not going to need the mask. It's totally fine. It's cool. Don't worry about it. She's not going to hit my face. I'm not going to need the mask. And I also thought it was funny because she's like, you guys look so good. Like, so funny. But during the match when it happens, right before, you know, she's getting hit in the face, Pat McAfee said, there's this random dude who carries around the Stanley Cup. That's what these people are to Carmella with the mask.
Yeah.
Which I thought was hysterical. But I also don't know a lot about that. Is that true?
So,
is there really just one dude who's going around with it?
Yeah. So whenever there's a Stanley Cup winner,
Yeah.
Each player basically gets their day with the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
You can do whatever the fuck you want with it. Players have eaten cereal out of it. People have put their newborn babies in it.
Yeah.
And, you know, you can do whatever you want. But there's also a gatekeeper, basically, that makes sure it doesn't get ruined. So, yeah, there's this dude that his full-time job is just to travel with the Stanley Cup. He puts on the white gloves and everything. Like, the Stanley Cup's amazing. Best trophy in all of sports, by far.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, that's his fucking job. Just to travel around with the cup, you know, hang out with the friends and family of, you know, or whatever the player wants to do for that day.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's his job.
I love it. And I just like the way that Pat McAfee said it too. There's this random guy who just carries it around, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah. And he gets paid for it. They pay him to do that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's his job. That is his literal job. Micah says he's just tipping and running because dinner's ready and he's not missing the meal. So cheers to Micah. Thank you for coming through. Let's see.
Thank you.
But ultimately, Zelina Vega did win the match. I thought the match was actually pretty solid for the most part. I like Liv's involvement. And I also liked how well Carmella did at looking like she was getting screwed over and looking like really victimized here. And like, she looked like someone being bullied. She was like, Liv, just give me back my mask. Like, she looked really like distraught by it. And like, not like you would expect like a heel to just be like, fuck you, I'm taking my stuff back. But like, why are you doing this to me? You know?
Yeah. Poor me. I'm the victim here.
Yeah.
And once again, it just sets up, just like with Naomi and Sonya, it sets up a women's mid card, and it's great. Like, that's what they need. Like,
yeah,
you know, you put the mid card to push the top guys. If you only have top guys and that's it, you know, you'll be let down because somebody else can easily take your spot.
Yeah.
So you bolster up the mid card. You have Liv and Carmella, both of them getting a lot of love and a lot of heat. Like, it's great. And then Zelina gets the win. She's now got 2 wins since she's been back, and both of them have been in King of the Ring or Queen's Crown.
Yeah.
Like, that's great. And I said it on the last show, like, I didn't want Carmella to win because she was the first Money in the Bank winner.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, she doesn't need it. I love Carmella. I wish you'd go back to the original Carmella, but I'm just glad that we're going to get somebody like new.
Yeah. No, it's going to be dope. It's going to be dope.
Yeah. On both of them, fast forwarding real quick, King of the Ring and Queen's Crown, like, I'm excited for both of those matches. And like we said earlier, like, we haven't been excited for Crown Jewel ever. And this is just 2 more matches where we're like, well, I'm interested to see who wins.
Yeah, actually, too, I'm like super interested in the idea, and like I said, fast forwarding a little bit, but the idea that we were down to Finn Balor and Xavier Woods, the idea that it's Dewdrop and Zelina Vega makes me incredibly excited to see who's going to win those, because either way, I don't see a bad outcome. I have the outcomes I prefer, but I don't see a bad outcome depending on how you move forward with it. So,
yeah, I think all 4 of them are good choices for their own thing.
Yeah. 100%. There's a case to be made for everyone involved, and I love it. Love it. Let's see. Happy Corbin came out with Madcap Moss. Are you loving Madcap Moss and Happy Corbin?
I don't know yet. For me, the jury's still out. Like,
dude, they're such high level obnoxious right now.
Yeah. Well, exactly. Like, that's what you want from a heel. You want to not like them.
Yeah. And I 100% want to see them get their asses kicked. I love how much the crowd is booing. They're getting like Elias Styles boos for dad jokes. And how fucking funny is that?
Speaking of Elias, was he drafted?
He wasn't drafted, but he's dead, remember?
Well, I know he's dead, but I mean, dead people get to vote in this country, so.
That's true. So he can vote, but he can't be drafted.
Yeah. Because the other one that I was curious, I don't know what made me think about it earlier, that wasn't drafted at all was Asuka.
Well, it's because she's injured.
Well, I understand, but
they don't draft injured people.
Oh.
If you go through the list of the last several drafts, anyone who's injured just doesn't get drafted.
Yeah, okay.
I think part of it is they don't want to, like, I don't think they want to put any
in a role or not.
Yeah, I don't think they want to rush the healing process either. I don't think they want to tell people, like, hey, you're drafted over to Raw, so you better get ready to go to Raw so you can fight with these people. I think it's when you're actually ready, we'll figure out what we're doing with you. Like, I don't think they want to put any pressure on them.
Vince doesn't care that deeply.
I don't think Vince is in charge of that.
If I've learned anything from the internet wrestling community, Vince does not care.
Yeah, he's pretty evil. That's a good point.
I'm surprised they're not fired.
Dude, even the way Madcap Moss is dressed is obnoxious. Yeah. He's wearing shit that's just like so fucking tight that you're so like, God, you're so self-absorbed, dude. Like, fuck off. I love it.
How do you even move?
Yeah. How do you move? Is your shit gonna rip? Like, what the fuck? Like, you can see all of your socks. Like, fucking stop. Like, they are 100% those assholes in the bar being really loud and laughing with their friends, and you look over and you go, no one there is that funny. None of them.
Hey, that's us.
That's us.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah, we're obnoxious. We're terrible. We are terrible.
Telling bad jokes that only we laugh at.
Oh yeah. I think they're doing an awesome job of being hateful, like being easy to hate. You know what I mean? Like. And I also don't think that they're actually like turn off the TV kind of hate. Like when the Young Bucks come out and try and tell jokes or whatnot, I'm so fucking off put by the whole thing. I turn off the TV for months. This one, I kind of want to hear his shitty jokes.
No, 100%. That's what makes it great.
Yeah.
But Young Bucks try to tell jokes.
They think they're hysterical, yeah.
I mean, I would love, real quick, AEW if you got rid of about like 10 of their talents. I'd be 100% on board.
I agree.
Probably 10 that most AEW fans would be like, how could you?
Yeah. No, I mean, that's, I think kind of what it is with me is there's a handful of talent that keep me from watching the program and a bunch of talent that are held down by those talent as well. Like they can't do better. It's yeah, I agree. If you got rid of like somewhere between 5 and 10 specific talent, I think AEW be can't miss, but because it's the ones that they want, and it's like can't watch.
It's the good old boys club.
Yep. Let's see. We did end up though after that. That's when the Nakamura thing happened, which we talked about. But we did end up with a street fight with the Street Profits, with the Usos. I'm trying to think of what I felt like the Usos were doing really good, and I feel like Montez Ford wrestles, acts, and bumps like a child would. What did you think of this match?
I thought, truthfully, I didn't mind it. I thought it was good. I mean, I liked it. I'm not, I'm not a big Street Profit fan, but I like the match.
I mean, I'll tell you, there was a definite heel and babyface for me. I 100% wanted the Usos win the whole time, and I loved it every time that the Street Profits were getting their ass kicked. And at the end of the match, I cheered because the good guys won.
Well, yes, that was a given. Yeah. To me, this kind of felt like the way I thought Raw was going to go, where you can't give the leaving team the belt.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's the only thing I don't like about this new, hey, we're going to do the draft, but in 2 weeks it's going to take effect. We're going to sew up these things with titles, and I think you throw the wrench in there a couple times and the title doesn't change hands. And, that happened on Monday, which it happened on Monday, and it, we'll get there. Like, because it foreshadowed a lot more to me than I wanted it to.
Yeah. No, I can see that.
And I'm sure you're on the same page with that. But, overall, I think Montez is good. Dawkins is improving, slowly showing me that he's, worth a damn. I think when they finally split them, I think it's pretty much like the Rockers, Shawn Michaels, Marty Jannetty. Dawkins will be Jannetty. And then we'll have Lonely Dawkins memes instead of Lonely Virgil.
Oh, that'd be good too. Yeah, I don't know. I just the overly cartoonish antics and behavior just come off as like childishly clownish, like how kids like if you tell your kid to act surprised, how they go "Ooh," but no one actually does that when they're surprised, is how Montez behaves. He behaves like how someone wouldn't actually behave, but how a cartoon would lead them to believe that's how they behave. You know what I mean? And so it'll take away from the match for me. Like, there was a move, I don't know if it was this night or Friday night or Monday night, but there was a big bump that Montez took. I think it was actually Monday. And he took like a big bump from Drew McIntyre where it was like a just a fucking spine buster. And then like he jumps back up and does like a second bump off of it. And I was like, fucking knock it off, dude. It looks stupid.
You know what it reminds me of? And it's really quite annoying because they do it on stupid spots like that. Is it seems like they're trying to oversell like The Rock. Yeah. Remember The Rock taking the stunner? Like he would bounce off the ropes like 15 times. Look like you put a Rock Mattel action figure in the ring and you shook it for 2 minutes. And I think that's where they're getting it off of. And I'm like, yo, like, to me, the Attitude Era was the right place for it. Right now, when you're trying to be realistic and you bounce and you stand up for a second, then go back down, like, nah. It had its place. It's done. It's over. Don't revisit it.
But even outside of that, The Rock didn't sell every move like that. He sold the Stone Cold Stunner like that because the Stunner was so over. And that's the other thing people always neglect to take note of. Guys like The Rock and Stone Cold and even CM Punk had cheat codes. You can't do the things that they do the way they did them because they had cheat code level, game genie level charisma.
I was gonna say Game Genie, you son of a bitch.
Oh, were you? Oh.
Yeah.
No. The Rock had the game genie of pro wrestling, so he can get away with shit that other people can't get away with. So when you do shit like The Rock, you look like an idiot. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no,
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. No, I was just agreeing with you, like 100%. Like, I think when you oversell the spine buster, it makes every other spine buster like less important.
Yeah. Yeah, and it also makes you look like an idiot.
Yeah.
You
Because
jumped
the spine
up.
buster damn near killed you.
Yeah. Or not only did it damn near kill you, you go down to the ground, you jump back up, and then launch yourself back onto the ground again for a second bump without being touched.
Mm-hmm.
Like
That was
you
the
look like
old
a moron.
Flair getting whipped in the corner.
Not necessarily, because Flair took a face bump that was like a delayed bump. It was like he almost was like running on instinct and then, falls because he's like,
out.
Yeah,
Look,
out.
like
But
Daniel
also, fucking
Jones.
Ric Flair was also a game genie level of charisma. Ford does not have that. He looks like a moron.
Mm-hmm.
You just,
Flair was
he
also Game Genie on a fucking private flight.
He just looks like a try too hard clown, and he looks like a child out there, and I'm just not into it.
Yeah.
So, but Greenberg does say Dawkins was in NXT floating around for years until Montez came around and the Street Profits gave Dawkins new life. Yeah, that's dedication, man. Wait for someone else to get you going. Grim Reaper says, I agree that if and when they split, Montez is a star. Well, I mean, because Dawkins brings literally nothing to the table.
But see, I think at the same time, because I'm actually looking forward to this, because, I've never been a Street Profit fan, but I think when you finally separate them, like I said, it's going to be Sean and Marty. I'm not saying that, excuse me, Dawkins is strictly going to be Marty Jannetty, and, Montez is going to be Sean, but I think he'll get away from the goofiness. And then there's going to be a serious side of Montez that I didn't see, like I said, a year ago. But I'm seeing it recently where, we saw Sean with the Rockers and he's doing the Rockers thing and stuff like that. Then all of a sudden we see the earrings and the chainmail or whatever the fuck it is, and he looks like a Chippendale dancer. I think Montez will turn the page and actually all of a sudden just, if they do it right, be a straight shooter. No, my athleticism will get me here, almost like a Bianca, basically. And I think if they do it that way, I think it would be great.
I agree. There was actually a little bit. They cut a couple promos where they were pretty serious for a bit there, and I remember thinking like, "Hey, this is something I could grab onto."
Yeah.
So you're right. There's been glimpses for sure.
Yeah, basically what people have been wanting from Big E being serious, I think that's Montez.
Yeah.
Hey,
because I also think Big E's found the golden ticket. I think Big E found that perfect balance.
Oh yes, 100%. And I think with Montez, like, hey, I'm here taking it serious. I'm not playing Viking games anymore. I'm better than you. It's me, and I'm gonna be athletic, and I'm gonna kick your ass.
Yeah.
And I think that'll work.
I think that would. I agree with that entirely. Because you're right. There has been glimpses of it, and when he's not like, when he's not a
cartoon, he's good.
Yes. Yeah. When he's not trying to be a cartoon or make his friends laugh or something, then he's actually like pretty solid. So maybe you're right.
Yeah.
That does bring us to Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch, dude.
Yeah, it happened. It was good.
So good. This was so
Loved
good.
It. Yeah.
Belair cheating in there to give Sasha the win.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Oh, Grimmer
giving
says,
Becky the
Double A
receipts.
Spinebuster is still the blueprint. Execution by Triple A and the sell by the victim. Yeah.
Mhm.
I thought this match was awesome. I thought it was perfect. I thought Bianca's involvement was great. I thought her commentary was not bad, not great. She definitely was showing that she's better at doing the promos than she is at just being let loose. You know what I mean?
Kinda, but you know, because we discussed this before. The reason why I don't like Asuka, and it's the way she speaks. You know, not with the accent or anything like that, but her delivery. And I think that's where I'm getting caught up with Bianca a lot of the times. You know, she says the same few catchphrases. Well, you don't belong here, or you don't go here.
Mm-hmm.
Like it seems like a stupid like TikTok, and I don't like it.
Yeah, but that can go either way. That's Rock's entire career. Rock only spoke in catchphrases for the first 4 years of him on his own. That's one of the reasons I didn't like him. It's because he would do an entire promo that was just standard cookie cutter
But
catchphrase build promo, and then he would add one more catchphrase and make that into a new T-shirt.
yeah, but unlike The Rock, or unlike Bianca, excuse me, The Rock was actually entertaining. Like
I didn't find
Bianca
him entertaining
says,
at the time.
well, I did,
Yeah, I hated him.
and I bought in. Yeah, and I bought in.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Lately, I hate to be the 2021 wrestling fan where this isn't moving fast enough, this isn't moving slow enough. Give me what I want, or else I'm unhappy. I haven't been able to put my finger on it, and I think it's the way Bianca delivers her speeches that I don't like, or her promos.
I don't have any issues with their promos, to be honest. I've been thinking she's been doing a really good job of mixing it up. But when she's on commentary, it's not good.
No, yeah, but I'm not saying with her. Her promos are her promos, but I'm saying the delivery of them is what I don't like. Like I said, with Asuka, I don't like the way Asuka speaks, and it's not her accent or anything like that. I just don't like the way she delivers it, and I think that's what's holding me back with Bianca a lot of the times.
Well, Asuka can be a little cartoonish and screaming a lot too, but that's nothing at all what Bianca's doing. I actually love Bianca's delivery. I thought she struggled with her promos for a little bit, but I feel like at this point she's really comfortable on the mic. But I also felt like she was not comfortable on commentary.
No, she was out of her element. It was clear as day. But
yeah,
like I said, I think that's what's holding me up with Bianca right now, because I was behind her 100%, give her the push, and then I was like, there's something I don't like. And I think it's just the way she delivers things that I'm not a big fan of. And it's just my personal opinion.
I think she's been delivering stuff real naturally. I would say even go so far as to go back to the contract signing and watch it again and just see where you think that disconnect is, just because I thought the contract signing thing between Becky, Sasha, and Bianca was perfectly played out by all of them. They all nailed it. But yeah, I felt like she just wasn't in her space as far as commentary goes. Definitely Becky and Bayley both knock her out of the water when it comes to commentary, but that's also not necessarily a negative thing. Shawn Michaels was terrible on commentary every time he was ever on it too. Some people just aren't good at that. They're good at other stuff,
Mm-hmm.
It did make me wonder though, we might as well talk about it, the triple threat coming up at Crown Jewel. I talked about it before that I didn't know if Becky would really take the loss at Crown Jewel, because for one, it's a triple threat, so she doesn't have to, and two, when Becky finally lost, it was going to be her first real loss in years. She hasn't really lost since before WrestleMania 35, not in a one-on-one match. And so I thought, who would they give the loss to? Because when Becky finally loses, it's going to be a really big fucking deal.
Mm-hmm.
And they did it here, so it makes me think well, now Becky's weakened a little bit. If she took this loss here, she could take another loss. Because it also showed that maybe she's no match for Sasha and Bianca together. You know what I mean?
We'll see. Well, after Raw, I thought the exact opposite. Because going into Crown Jewel before this Raw, I was like, well, you put it on Sasha. She's the only SmackDown talent in this match.
Yeah.
And Bianca's going to beat Charlotte on Raw.
Yeah.
But I think what you set up is Becky wins, retains, because that's not what people are seeing. And you have this awkward ass, especially after Raw, you have this awkward ass switching of titles between Charlotte and Becky, and we get Charlotte versus Becky at Survivor Series.
Yeah, my gut tells me we're getting to Charlotte and Becky too. But I don't know if you do it the awkward way or not. Like, I wonder if there's a different way they do it.
Well,
I don't know another way to do it.
After Charlotte retains, her title is not up for grabs at Crown Jewel. So technically, she's taking the Raw Women's title to SmackDown on Friday. And if you're going to put Sasha as the champion, all of a sudden you have both belts on SmackDown and none on Raw. So I think, like I said, especially when Charlotte was doing her promos and everyone's chanting Becky, they're building up to that being probably the marquee Survivor Series match. As much as I don't want to see it, I think that's where they're going with it. You're going to have this awkward handoff with the titles, kind of like, who was it, Street Profits and New Day, last year or 2 years ago. But, well, we're over here, we're here. Well, give me that belt. All right, here we go. And I think that's where we're at.
Yeah, I kind of do too. I wish they would just rebrand the titles.
100%. I wish it wasn't SmackDown Women's Champion and Raw Women's Champion. I think it was, say WWE Women's Champion, Universal Women's Champion. Cool, go. Yeah.
Call it the World, call it the Universal.
Yeah.
Women's World, Women's Universal, you know what I mean? Like, boom, they didn't have to worry about that shit. If someone gets drafted to the other show, it's not like, how are they going to get this title off this person? It's more like, looks like the world champion's over there now.
100%. And I thought, going into Raw, I was like, all right, Bianca's winning this.
Yeah.
Excuse me. She's on Raw. Charlotte's not. All right. And then after watching Raw, and I was like, well, what the fuck? And then I was like, oh, there's going to be the awkward Becky. Becky's going to retain. Then there's the awkward Becky-Charlotte switch, which is going to lead into Survivor Series.
Yeah. 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 I don't know. I don't want to see that, but I think that's what's going to happen. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's where we're at too. And it's just a bummer too, because like you said, I was really hoping Bianca would win, but before we get to that, here is where I was thinking, like, well, Becky's got to, when will Becky lose and when will that be an important moment? The Becky loss. But at this point, Becky just took that loss that it's kind of like deflated that. So where you could have talked about this like 3-year win streak, now it's just kind of like, oh yeah, and now here's just the next thing. I forget who else they did that with. It wasn't Asuka, because I mean the Asuka thing, they at least built up the streak for a little bit, but there was somebody who we noticed. They're like, oh, this person's won, X number of what? Like, how are they going to deal this? They're making a big deal, and then the person just lost, and you're like, oh, I guess we just move on. Like, I forget who it was.
That was it.
Yeah, that's just kind of how I felt with this one. I was like, oh, I mean, I guess it makes sense it was Sasha because, one of the greatest, I suppose. And the idea that Bianca helped cheat to win, like, okay, unfair advantage and all that. But it was just weird. In the chat real quick, Grimber agrees with you, though. Grimber says, Batista did talk like a 2021 fan. Give me what I want. You give me what I want, okay?
Yeah.
Give it to me. Give me what?
Give it.
What do I want?
Right now.
Yeah.
Not later, right now. I need what I want. Give me what I want.
And Grim Reaper does say that he can see Sasha eating the pin from Becky to keep Bianca strong. I can see that for sure, especially because Becky just took this loss for Sasha. So I guess it's that whole like, hey, you do me the favor, I'll do you the favor. All that stuff that you used to hear back in the day, which I don't think means as much as it used to. But and then goes, Sasha is Teflon. Bianca is not. She needs to stay strong. I don't know, man. Bianca's close to Teflon. She's got the crowd behind her, and I think it has a lot to do with her taking the loss that she took before. And I think you're really getting a Bianca, although she shouldn't be the underdog, she's really coming off as the underdog because there's this, view that the wrestling fan has that the company is doing wrong by wrestlers whenever anybody loses, So
it almost feels like the Daniel Bryan underdog story with Bianca right now.
That's what I said.
Yeah, that's what they're building up to, and I'm like,
Yeah. I think they're doing a Daniel Bryan style thing with Bianca, and it's working great because I don't think I think all the general wrestling fans are just eating it up and don't get it.
Yeah.
How could they? That's literally how the yes movement started.
But
and
why?
Ingram does say that he goes, I'm correct. He said Becky's first title loss needs to be huge, and that's true too.
Yes.
When Becky loses the title, it's got to be a big deal. I don't know who you go with though. Doudrop maybe?
She's back.
No, do Doudrop or Eva Marie. Put on Eva Marie. Better. Can you imagine how pissed people would be?
It needs to be.
Well, let's wrap up SmackDown, dude. The contract signing here with Paul Heyman and Roman and Brock Lesnar, where Roman looks over the contract with Paul and then signs it. Brock just hands it, signs real big all over the paper. And then even Pat McAfee's all like, yeah. And Pat McAfee watching Brock Lesnar sign it goes like, I don't even think he signed anywhere near the line. He signed over the whole page. And then, Roman says, you're an idiot. You didn't even read the contract. And he goes, I already read that damn contract earlier this morning with my advocate. And then walked out. It was so good, dude. The facial expressions, Brock Lesnar laughing. This was done so perfectly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because you're expecting, every time you see these stupid contract signings, you're expecting a fight and the table to be pushed over and stuff like that. And Brock was just like, oh, yeah, no, I read that with Paul earlier.
Yeah.
See ya.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, shit.
Yeah. I sat down with Paul and we went over it like we always do.
Yeah. Yeah. It put the doubt in Roman's mind and straight money.
Oh, yeah. So you think they're going to put Roman over on this one?
I do. And what's funny is this is the first time in a long time I think I'm rooting for Lesnar on this.
I just hope everyone has fun.
Yeah. Everyone gets a participation award.
Yeah. I know I'm tough on this one too because I do think I kind of want Brock to win it. But oh shit.
With the mind games that can happen there, ooh. Especially if Brock wins and then all of a sudden he's like, well, Paul's I'm the special counsel. I'm the wise man. It'd be so great.
I still don't get my audio. Are you there, Kev?
Yeah, I'm here. Hello. We good?
Hello?
Hello, I'm here.
Hey, there we go.
No. New sheriff in town.
Oh man, you're only coming through one ear. It seems like both my headphones connected to different devices.
Yeah.
That's all right. Technical difficulties. Take a drink.
Done and
yeah,
done.
Dude. So I didn't catch any of that, but you're right. Dead on. Couldn't be more accurate on this one. But yeah.
100.
I'm really excited by it. I don't know if I want Brock or Roman to win. I just don't, because I think that no matter which direction you go with it, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
So
and I don't say it's to this significance, but I think there's going to be a WrestleMania 6 Warrior versus Hogan, like 50-50 draw on this. Kevin Owens versus AJ. Like, I think it's going to be close. Not that the crowd's going to matter because everyone in the front row doesn't even like wrestling. They're just there because it's a social event.
That's true, too. That's a good point. Well, dude, let's talk a little bit about Raw. I don't want to go through everything on Raw. I really don't. It wasn't that it was a bad Raw. It's just that I feel like I feel like SmackDown's all killer, no filler. Like, they just have everything moving in such a solid direction. And I feel like Raw puts in stuff to tease things, like, down the line. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is also fine, but it also feels like I said, a lot of it felt like holding pattern for after the draft.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, we can even start with it just because it was a random moment in a random segment that nothing, it could have played it anywhere. It could have been on YouTube, could have been on Twitter. But, like, John Morrison, for the second week in a row, we've seen him going through his existential crisis or trying to lock down his wandering chi, as he said. You had the Viking Raiders Vikinging it up. What do you think of all this?
I like it. I love the Viking Raiders, and I love Morrison. The only thing that I don't like is I hope the Wandering Chi isn't foreshadowing of The Miz being on Dancing with the Stars. And that's his Wandering Chi.
Not to can the bottle. You think this is foreshadowing that he's the Chi because he's on Dancing with the Stars?
Because he's wandering.
Oh, my God. I thought this was going to be their breakup, but you might be right.
Like I want to be wrong on this for this. But I hope I'm wrong. And truthfully, I don't even know what show each one got drafted to because it's all muddied at this point. But I just hope his wandering chi isn't Miz being off of wrestling and being on the dancing show.
Yeah, that's terrifying to think about, and you might be right on that. I don't like that one bit.
I don't like it either, but I think I'm pretty accurate on it.
Yeah, I also I don't hate this new thing he's going through. I don't love it, but I'm just glad it's a departure from Johnny Drip Drip. To be honest, I don't like any of the drip stuff. But
you don't like the drip stick?
None of it. I never found any of it remotely entertaining. I felt like it was all written by Johnny Gargano. But the thing is like,
no, it's Johnny Gargano's writer that wrote this shit.
Yeah, get that guy. We need him.
Yeah.
But I don't see where you go with this one either that makes me really give a shit. Like, at first I was thinking, I was like, oh, when John Morrison came back, it's like, oh, he's capable of so much incredible stuff. We've seen him do all this badass stuff. But now I'm just wondering if he's not capable of a bunch of badass stuff and he just wants to do comedy stuff and he thinks he's funnier than he is, and you know what I mean? Like,
well, I don't know. I like John Morrison. I think he's got a comedy lick to him. But I just, like you said, when he came back, I wanted more.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this is going to be different. Came out with the same intro, same music, everything was the same.
Yeah.
And what I hope, and like I said, I hope I'm wrong with the whole his wandering chi is Miz, is I hope John Morrison all of a sudden is like, hey, I found my wandering chi. It's a badass, and let's go. And almost like a stable, a clique, a faction with the Viking Raiders, and all of a sudden he's, let's go, balls out with the fucking axes and let's raid. Yeah. Rape and pillage. That's what I hope.
What does it say? Raid and get paid, they say?
Yeah.
Which is basically the same thing.
Yeah, rape and get paid.
Yeah. But
Bill Cosby.
but they I mean, I guess they could do that if they made him into a faction. I don't know. I guess on the other side of it, as long as it's a step away from Miz, then it's a step in the right direction.
Yes, 100%. Because we talked about it before, where we think Karen Cross would be a better fit with the Viking Raiders.
Yeah. True. Yeah.
But as much as I like Morrison and I dislike the Miz, even though I like the Miz, I'm a closet Miz fan.
Yeah.
I want them to be separate. Like there'll be both of them will be so much better apart.
Yeah. No, I see that. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Let's see, but so Raw did start with Charlotte Flair.
Charlotte. Ugh.
Dude, this promo is one of her. This is a pretty bad promo. I haven't liked a lot of her promos, but this one's remarkably bad.
It's like a Charlotte average at this point.
I felt like it was below average in this one. She came off like a bad open micer. The way she kept going guys, no, seriously. No, seriously, guys, come on. And you're like, what? Yeah,
no.
Yeah, a bad open micer is going to tell a joke and then be like, you know what I mean? For reals, though, right? Guys, seriously, though. That's what she sounded like.
You know, the thing that lost me with this promo off the bat is when the crowd turned on her. And nothing's worse than the what chant when Charlotte does it.
Yes.
And she's like, what? Yeah. What? And I was like, oh my gosh, you sound ugh. I wanted to slap her. I've never wanted to slap a woman, but I wanted to slap Charlotte right there.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't drawn in by that moment either. That's for sure. It came off really... I don't know. I know she's trying to be a heel. I know that she wants to get boos. I know that that's a good thing if you want to hit her because you hate her so bad. But at the same time, I was like, this is awful. When she started doing the what chant at the audience back or whatever, I was like, this is terrible.
That was the worst. I don't like the what chant to begin with. And then when Charlotte did it against the crowd, I was like, she's just, what? Oh. It was terrible. Charles Barkley, terrible.
Yeah, I thought it was really, really bad. And then, what was it? Didn't Bianca come out and talk some mad shit? Basically crushed her on the mic.
Yeah, 100%. It looked like the roles were reversed. It looked like Charlotte's the rookie, and I hate that she brought that up again, because Charlotte cannot get her own promos, or her own original promos. I was like, yo, Bianca was the rookie at WrestleMania. We did this 4 months ago.
She was a rookie when she got called up to Raw 2 years ago.
Exactly. Yeah, this rookie over here. I was like, yo, that was Charlotte's equivalent of guys saying that's what she said right now.
Yeah.
That was so 2018.
Yeah, it was fucking annoying, man. But before we get to the match on that, let's talk about a little more stuff that happened in there. But I just wanted to know if that promo seems exceptionally bad to you too, because there's a lot of times I don't like her promos, and I'll talk to people about it, and they go, I don't know, I liked it, no, it felt legit. I'm like, okay, weird, because I just didn't click with me, I guess. But this is one that I felt like was abnormally bad. I don't think she's very good to begin with on that, but I thought this was really bad.
100%. It felt to me like the Smackdown, I think it was Smackdown, that we went to with Ronda Rousey and Bayley. And Ronda Rousey was out of place and didn't know what to do, and she didn't have her microphone in her hand, and Charlotte did. And Charlotte just said, oh, well, what? Okay. And it felt so terrible. And this feels to me like one of those moments that the WWE dubbed over the crowd's noise, because I have a feeling they were booing her out the fucking building.
Yeah, it seemed bad. Dude, and it's also starting to... Like, it's starting to look to me like Charlotte is struggling on stuff because I feel like she's been in her own head, in her own hype for so long about being the best and hearing from everybody all the time. You might be the single greatest to ever do this, and she keeps putting those out there in her own promos. But it feels more like she's trying to convince people and herself that it's still true, when the rest of the roster is just flying past her at this point.
Yes, 100%.
I mean, she doesn't stand out like she used to at all.
She's the college kid going to the high school party and saying, "Hey, look how important I am."
Mm-hmm. And everyone's like, "Oh yeah, we all broke your records." You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that the division's passed her by.
Oh, 100%.
And I wonder if part of that is just like believing that you're actually the absolute best and no one can touch you. Maybe you don't put in the same work that other people do and they just pass you up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know? I don't know. I mean, at least from a character standpoint is what it seems like. Let's see. Xavier Woods versus Jinder Mahal. I mean, it was a good match.
It was good. Yeah.
But the big stuff is what happened, kind of afterwards. Xavier Woods going over to the crown and putting on the cape and all that. I loved Kofi Kingston like grabbing his cape and making it look like it was flipping through the wind and all that.
Yeah, but to me that foreshadowed a lot more, because they kind of mentioned it, but they didn't. And because they kept saying, "Hey, Corey is touching, the trophy, or the crown and whatnot. Is that bad luck?" And to me, it bearded fan, with hockey, their big one is you do not touch the conference championship trophy type of thing, because it's bad luck if you're going for the Stanley Cup. And that's what it reminded me of 100%, because with the Queen's Crown, Zelina did it. And I was like, all right. So Zelina did it, fine. They're, worse. Because when it comes down to those two, I think Dewdrop's going to win. I think Dewdrop is a talent. Piper, whoever you want to call her, is a talent that is better than what she's booked at. I don't think Zelina's going to win it. My money's on Piper or Dewdrop. So I think it has the mystique of, well, you touched the crown. You touched the seat. What the fuck do they call it? The
throne.
Throne. There you go. And by the way, those thrones are fucking hideous.
Yeah, they're pretty bad.
Like, oh my gosh, I could have made a better throne with popsicle sticks.
Yeah, no, I was actually surprised at how bad the thrones look. But yeah, I was thinking about that too. I don't know how many people have ever put on the crown and all that and then actually won it, because I feel like that's always been like a bad luck thing. Not even like a bad luck as far as like literal bad luck, but like as a kayfabe bad luck, because I feel like they get the picture with the people in the crown, so the pictures are out there, so people go, oh, will this be the future? But they never do that with the person who wins. And it's always a surprise when the person who won is wearing the crown, because you haven't seen anything like that yet,
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's Stanley Cup. Like, you win your conference. A lot of times you don't touch the trophies. The captains don't touch it. Cool. There have been guys that touch it and they lose. And there's been a few guys that have touched it and won, but that's what it reminded me of a lot.
Yeah.
Because I have, going to the finals, I think everyone that's won it that has touched it has lost.
Yeah.
Didn't Jinder touch it and he lost?
Yeah. Sammy Ward.
Yeah, Sammy Ward, he's gone.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it reminded me of. And it sucks because looking at Xavier and Finn, like both of them would be great at it.
Yeah.
I almost wanted it to be a draw and be like, yo, we got dual kings this year. Like,
Oh yeah. Everyone's a king.
I think both of them can run with it. But as a fan watching that, I think there's like a 60-40 split, and I'm rooting a little more for Finn.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to bring it up, because I felt like when I saw that too that I was deflated. I was like, oh no, Woods is definitely going to lose if he's wearing it now, because it always felt to me like part of the reason you would do that is just so there is that shot. There is that moment that you're not going to get. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, here's as close as he's ever going to get to being king. So he's going to put on the scepter and have Kofi do the cape thing, because they're not going to be able to do it after.
Which I thought was hilarious. Like, hey, take the picture. He's blowing in the wind.
Oh yeah.
But he never put the crown on.
Yes, that's true too.
Either way, like, I'm excited for this match. I think it's going to be.
Oh yeah.
This. For Crown Jewel, I think this might be the match that seals the show.
This could definitely do it. And do the face-off of Finn Balor after his match with Mace, where Kofi was out there and they were in...
and he pulls the scepter. Oh.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so good. And Kofi getting between them and stuff. And, it's done so well,
Hey, bro,
man.
calm down.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Yeah, it was good.
Really, really good. GR Luna comes to the chat saying, managed to make it after practice. Hell yes, brothers. Cheers to GR Luna coming through.
Cheers. I'll drink to that.
Yep. So, yeah, since we already kind of talked on it, Doudrop beat Shayna Baszler. A lot of people were upset by this, too. Just, I mean, because it was kind of a quick match. I don't know, like, I don't know, man. The match times thing has not been bothering me as much. And, like, I feel like you don't want a 30-minute match with Doudrop and Shayna. You know what I mean? Like,
no, because to me, it's going to lead to something down the line.
Yeah.
I don't think this is the be-all match.
Yeah. Do you think? And here's the other thing: is a lot of people online will complain about women's matches going too long, but then they complain when they're too short. And like, I know that there's a fucking right temperature of porridge that's out there, but at the same time,
you can never
if every
go
time
too short.
If every time Natty has a 10-minute match and people say this is boring, she's terrible, this match is going on too long, you can't be surprised when Toni Storm and Zelina get a minute and a half, because quite honestly, Zelina has never had a match much longer than that to begin with. Not one she did well in. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, well,
they're trying to protect both talents. And that's the other thing, too, is we know Toni can go for a long time. We've seen longer matches with her in the NXT UK and longer ones in NXT. But, like, these shows, they got to be a little bit... They're pretty stingy on their time to begin with. I mean, some more than others. But, like, you also see Drew McIntyre come out and cut a promo that just, like, drags ass forever. And you feel like, I wonder if this has to do with the idea of someone else's stuff getting cut, because guys like Drew comes out and continues to interrupt and move the story around as slow as he wants and gets in all of his jokes. And you know what I mean?
Let me
like,
tell you a story.
Yeah. Does Drew's story time have anything to do with that? I think it's possible.
Yeah. Fucking Drew. You fucking
But at the same
bastard.
time, do you think that there's a possibility? Because I think there is. If Doudrop wins, do you think she becomes Queen Piper? And we go back to Piper Niven.
I hope so. I do.
I can go ahead. But I do think it'd be best, yeah.
I know she bought in 100% with Doudrop.
Yeah.
You know, she's talked about her entrance and, I didn't realize the characters is this until I heard the entrance and this and that, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you throw out Queen Zelina, and she's this pompous little fucking shit that got lucky in 3 matches. Not got lucky, but won 3 matches, and that's all you've won. Woo.
Yeah.
Because
she's also got lucky. The reason she won against Carmella was because of Liv. And in the match with Toni, she like caught up a sneaky victory and pulled the tights, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, 100%.
But I'm okay. I'm okay with either one of them winning.
Yeah, me too. So I'm excited about that one. I'm excited about Phantom.
Truthfully, I'm almost rooting a little more for Zelina, for all those fucking idiots that were like, "Oh, she didn't get her spot on during 9/11 and blah blah blah." Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
She's queen, bitch.
Yeah, she's doing all right.
Queen Z.
The Mansoor and Mustafa Ali stuff I'm loving. I loved that promo that they had Mansoor cut because, like, so Mustafa's been telling Mansoor to get serious, quit smiling about everything, quit being a goof, and here he does, and he does it on Mustafa, and then he was looking like, oh shit, he's serious now, right? But one of the things I thought when I saw it is I can't wait for the Crown Jewel video package that goes before the match. Because it feels like they had him cut a bunch of specific lines just to cut for that video package.
Yeah. Yep. I saw that too.
But I loved it because I was like, they got something in mind.
Yeah, we're gonna take this and put it here, and this is gonna go here, and yeah, kid picks, baby.
Oh yeah, so dope. I hated Drew McIntyre, Big E tagging together. What's up? What were you about to say?
I know. I was gonna say, you know. I think it's great that they brought that. Mustafa said, "I'm going to go into your hometown and humiliate you or beat you, whatever the fuck he said."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Cool, go do it. Let's go." You know, because I like both of them. I liked when they tagged them together. Didn't make sense, but then it made sense. And I just hope it just didn't lead to this moment. I hope it goes on beyond this.
Even if it led to this moment, that's fine.
Yeah, but, well, I'm saying if this is the end, and then we don't see Mansoor until 205-2025.
Yeah. No.
Because I like Mansoor. I like him a lot. I think he, you know, without going too much into politics, like, I think he's just a wrestling fan. I think he's, hey, I was born here, but I feel this type of thing. And I think you can do a lot with it.
Yeah. Not
just the, hey, it's Mansoor's time, Crown Jewels is coming up. Like, I think he's a good talent. I legitimately do. And I remember I don't even think it was Crown Jewel. I think it was the first Saudi Arabia show. They're like, oh, these guys are getting a tryout, and I remember Mansoor being there. Yeah. And I was like, holy shit, like, I like this dude. The dude was good on the mic. I was like, yeah, give him a shot. And it feels like he's kind of been lost in the shuffle since, but I think he's a good talent. Like,
yeah, I think he's progressing great, and I really like the program they've had together. And if it's the end of the line for their story, I think it's awesome too, because it's been going on for months and months, and they're doing a really good job with it. I'm surprised more people aren't pointing to this either when they talk about, long-term storytelling. This has been like 6-7 months in the making, man. It's been good.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
But you're right. I don't want this to be the end we see of Mansoor, though. I do want to see more of him.
No, 100%. I like him a lot. And Mustafa as well. I like both of them a lot. Like, let's see more. And I forgot what the program was called, but there was a mystery character, and you're like, oh, who is he supposed to be, or who is it? And they're, they went back and forth on, the promos and stuff like that, and he was doing it, and it turned out to be Mansoor. Giving out Macho Man promos, and he fucking nailed it like several times. I forgot what the hell the program was called, but it was great because I was like, holy shit, like, this dude's like multi-dimensional. Like, he's not a one-trick pony like you think he is. Yeah. He was a masked character, and he was delivering Macho Man lines like fucking amazing. And they're like, guess what superstar this is? And like, Caleb Braxton, I think, was there. I even think Renee was there. and no one knew who it was. And when he took off the mask, they're like, "Oh, it's Mansoor," and it's like, "Holy shit!" Like, this dude's got talent beyond talent, and I think it's underutilized, and it should be pushed further.
Yeah, but they're not pushing him now. So I mean, it's all a thing. He's been in the company for 2 years. Like, it's also not like he should be in the main event of everything right now. But I think they're doing a great job with him.
100%. But I'm telling you, like, this program, if I can find it, I'll tweet it out, even though I don't tweet, because it was great to see it. Like, the progression of it, it was like a few weeks build up, and well, I feel this way, and then it would cut a promo. Who is it? You know, people were guessing Sasha Banks, Sami Zayn, like, you know, I think Bailey a couple times. They're like, "Oh, this is a wrestling fan," and then when it was revealed, and it, you know, there was like 3 or 4 insiders. When it was revealed it was Mansoor, they're like, "Holy shit!" Like, cool. He's just like Bailey and everyone else. He's one of us, type of thing.
All right, so let's move it along. The main event on this one was Bianca versus Charlotte. Kev, what did you think about
this? Shits about it. I did not like this at all.
Did you not like it from the get, or just as it was going, you find yourself disinterested in it?
I didn't like the bill of it, and then where it went on after this.
So when I was watching it, here's what I was getting the impression of, and it kind of piggybacks off what we were talking about earlier. Charlotte couldn't keep up with Bianca.
No.
She was gassed early. She wasn't meeting her spots. Bianca had to keep slowing down to try to meet Charlotte places. Charlotte was not where she ought to have been. There was a lot of stuff in this where I was all like, fuck, Charlotte's like way off. And I'm not saying we haven't said before that I didn't think that she was. I've thought for a very, very long time that Charlotte is pretty clunky in general. But she couldn't keep up with Bianca, and I think that Bianca completely outshined Charlotte throughout this entire match.
100%. And I've noticed it the last couple weeks, and even on Raw, I don't think Charlotte is who we thought she was. I'll put, you know, Denny Green, I'll pull a page out of his book. Like, Charlotte is Charlotte, and you'll get that, but at the same time, you want your stars to perform at a certain level, and I'm willing to go back months. Charlotte hasn't performed like she should have.
Like, not ever since her return.
Yeah, no, she's, I'm going to do this spot. You know, I think it was on Raw, where she's like super protecting herself, going over the table. And she's like, well, hold on, let me just roll over here real quick, and then I'll fall over. And it's like, wait, that was supposed to be a big spot.
Yeah.
The commentators were like, holy shit, what the fuck? She just rolled over and she's here.
When she moonsaulted, she was nowhere near Bianca, and Bianca had to sell it like she died. There was that moment where they kind of do like tit for tat, where Charlotte does what Bianca does, where she sort of does the handstand, springboards off, and like moonsaults off the ground. Charlotte did it, and it was really slow and clunky, and she had to like stop herself, and then Bianca did it and nailed it. And it could also very well be that they're trying to show that Bianca is a superior athlete. That could be a story that's being told here, but at the same time, it didn't come off that way, because the other thing that happened was Bianca goes to do that move again, because she did it a few times, where just the handstand into the ropes and back off, where Charlotte was supposed to catch her with a kick, and Charlotte did not get up or over there in time, so Bianca goes to springboard off, and then as her legs are coming back over, has to like bring them back up so she's back into position so Charlotte can kick her where she was supposed to before. She had to like reverse the momentum, which also was insane because she did it. But it was just a lot of making up for Charlotte not being there. Yeah,
and that just proves to the talent of Bianca.
Yes.
Because there's been a lot of, like you said, I've noticed it the past few weeks, like for a while, like you said, since the return, where Charlotte should be doing something and she's not there. And the other talent makes up for it.
Yes.
And one of the glaring things to me is the stupid moonsault where no one's there, and then you do it again. Kind of like what Alexa does. You know, hey, here it is. Wait, you're not there. All right, I'm going to flip it back on you. Charlotte tries to do that, and it is so fucking terrible.
Mm.
She does the moonsault.
Mm-hmm.
She pauses for a second, kind of looks around. Excuse me again. Sees where everyone's at, and then does the backflip type of thing. And it's like, wait, that should be like
fluid,
a constant movement. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they were trying to do a whole bunch of those, like, anything you can do, I can do better kind of stories. Except nothing
with
Bianca could do could Charlotte do better. Yeah. And all of it, Bianca looked better at it than Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was supposed to show that Bianca was up to Charlotte's level. But really, what it really showed was that Bianca's on a higher level.
Yeah. It made Charlotte look like shit. Absolute shit.
Yeah. I was watching it going like, oof. Charlotte should be making this look like a natural thing, and she's not the one making it look at all natural. Like,
yeah.
It was a bit rough in that regard for sure. I felt like, but.
Well, and that's the thing that got me too with this. And it just made me feel like everyone always talks about Charlotte's athleticism. You know, oh, she's athletic. She does this. She does the moonsault. She does this. She does that. And after this, I was like, looking around, I'm like, y'all gotta fucking recognize Charlotte looks like shit. This looks bad on her each time.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. It was one of those, like, I really hope Bianca, you know, really takes off from here because, 100%, I felt like this was an all Bianca match, and it was pretty cool in that regard, but the whole match, I was all like, oh, my God. And even as we were watching it, producers like kept seeing stuff, and she goes, what was Charlotte doing there? And I was like, it's finally, like, being exposed. All the times I've talked about where people are like, people can't keep up with Charlotte, and like, oh, like with Nikki. They're like, oh, Nikki couldn't keep up. And I was like, really watch it and tell me, can Nikki not keep up, or is Charlotte not meeting her in the middle? And this was a whole lot of Charlotte not being able to meet her in the middle, but Bianca being so able to keep up that it just exposed that Charlotte's never meeting anybody, and it made Charlotte look bad.
You know what this reminded me of a lot? Like 100% a lot? Is Charlotte and Bianca reminds me of John Cena and CM Punk.
Yeah.
Where Cena, Cena fucking saved CM Punk's ass so many times and did not get any credit for it. Was like, hey, I'm cool, here I am. Like, this 100% reminds me of it. Is Charlotte, and I've noticed it not even this past week or couple weeks. Like, I've noticed this from Charlotte like a lot in the past, I'd say 6 months. Where Charlotte's not where we think she is and we hope she is, and they bill her as being there, then just she's not there.
Yeah, but Bianca looked incredible.
No, Bianca looked great. But like I said, it's CM Punk versus John Cena. Cena looked great. Bianca looks great. The rest is just kind of garbage.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm actually really excited for Crown Jewel, though, because I think Brock and Roman's going to be killer. I think Woods and Finn Balor is going to be awesome. I think Doudrop and Zelina is going to be fun. I think the triple threat, Sasha, Bianca, and Becky is going to be killer. I also read somewhere that's going to potentially be the main event. And if that's the main event, that's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be great, but I have a feeling to me, it's played out as Becky wins, and then there's an awkward handoff between Becky and Charlotte because Charlotte retained, and then we have this quote unquote hyped up match between Becky and Charlotte.
Well, we'll see.
Or Survivor Series.
We will see. We'll see where it goes. Do we know yet when Survivor Series is? We know the day, right? Isn't it like November 13th or some shit?
I'm not sure. I heard that
So
they
it's
got
only-
rid of TLC.
That's interesting because I thought they might be using TLC because of the way that Charlotte won the match by hitting Bianca with a chair, and then Bianca chased off Charlotte with the chair. I thought, oh, they're gonna do TLC. They're gonna do a chairs match there, and then that'll be how they
Well,
do
see,
it.
I heard they're getting rid of TLC because we have quote unquote extreme rules, and because of the fallout of everything else.
What fallout?
The fallout of what we did not have for extreme rules.
Mm.
Because I heard that they didn't want to have another pay-per-view because there was one booked, but they're getting rid of it because other things are taking precedence of it, basically.
All right. Well, we'll see how it plays out. We were thinking about doing sort of a watch-along for Crown Jewel, but I don't think it's going to work because I'm having kind of a short week this week because this weekend I'm going to be out in GCW, out in LA. I'm going to check out Josh Barnett's Bloodsport. I'm going to check out the GCW show. I forget the name of it. Something about something. But it's going to be Suzuki Engage, so that's going to be pretty cool. But, Kev, was there anything else you thought we missed? Go ahead.
Survivor Series 21 is in Brooklyn.
Yep. What time?
November
What day?
21st.
21st. Okay, so we got about a month. We got a month to get there. So, all right.
But yeah, supposedly there was something in December that we're not going to get a pay-per-view in December because it's too close to Survivor or Royal Rumble and whatnot, and allegedly.
Well, we'll
Internet
see.
trolls. I don't know.
We will see what they do. But Kev, anything you thought we missed that you want to make sure we talk about?
Yeah, a big one.
What?
The Cardinals are 6-0, baby.
Are they? That's impossible. They've never done that.
No, only undefeated team. Yeah, they've never done it in their history. 6-0.
Yeah, it seems real peculiar, man. I don't trust it. I don't trust it one bit.
Seth Bongo.
All right, man. Well, guys, we hope you guys enjoyed Crown Jewel. We will be back next week on Wednesday to talk Crown Jewel and the fallout of, and on episode 1 with me and Kev. I do want to thank Flow State Coffee for sponsoring this one. If you go to newwave.co, NOOWAVE.co, and put in promo code CHEERS, you can get 10% off any ongoing sales they have going. Flow State Coffee is a specialty grade coffee with L-theanine and raw cacao for productivity and creativity. Gives you better energy, focus, and mood than a regular cup of coffee while decreasing side effects like anxiety and blood pressure. I also want to say real quick to jump on WrestlingOnTheRocks.com and find our YouTube link. Over in links, you can find it and give us a little follow over there. You can put the I and subscribe in the known notifications. That's totally fine. We are on the cusp of that $100 mark where we can get the, or not $100 mark, 100 subscriber mark. We can get our own custom URL, and that's something we're trying to do. So if you guys could, or tell your friends, or make fake accounts to do it for us, that'd be perfect. But Kev, it's been good having you on. We will be back on Thursday night for a brand new episode 1 with me and Clump and Amanda Jane to talk about AEW and NXT and the fallout of the Friday night skirmish or whatever we want to call it. But I think that's it, man.
Friday
Ready for
night
last
cat
call?
fight. Sorry. Yes.
Friday night cat fight. Guys, I am at Ref Marsh. He is at Kevlar on the Rocks with an X. We are at WOTR the show, and we will be back right here in the dive bar of the IWC for a brand new episode 1. Guys, that's the last call.
Hey, producer lady here. Thanks for tuning in. Continue to support us or buy us a drink by following and putting the I in subscribe on Twitch. or subscribe and review our podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to us. Cheers!
I would never have a drink with wrestling on the rocks.